A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Welcome. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. This is the NJCAAE Army National Guard webinar series, our first of the year. We're back at it. We're going to have some fun. It's March. We've got quite a few of these lined up throughout the year. We're going to have some fun listening and learning and hopefully educating you out there in the esports ecosphere about college esports, recruitment, education, leadership, everything we can fit and cram into these series over this year. But I'm glad you're here. I'm Bubba Gaddert, Executive Director of Varsity Esports Foundation, and I'm so honored to be able to talk to some amazing people today. But before we get started, we're going to see a nice video from the Army National Guard about some relief that happened during COVID and other responses over the years. So let's roll that video.
It's hard to believe, but 2020 is nearly in the rearview mirror. It's been an incredible stretch for us, and I know we've asked a lot of our force this year.
While circumstances will continue to evolve, here are the facts as they stand. All 54 states, territories, and the District of Columbia have declared a state of emergency.
National Guard in its response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The hurricane that came through last night.
Flood events that came in.
Disaster response during floods, hurricanes, and wildfires.
When disaster strikes, we don't have to mobilize from some base. We pack a lunch, we go to work because we are already there in the communities. We live there. We can respond faster.
And they've been an unbelievable asset, all these other hands processing ballots.
We're so blessed to have this many soldiers come out and help us feed needy families during this difficult time.
Saying thank you to the National Guard to honor all the hardworking men and women day in and day out.
So it's invaluable what your soldiers are doing with the food services and with medical and things of that nature. They're literally saving people's lives every day.
You can see on people's faces the relief that comes when they know they have food to eat for the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week.
So we're trying to make sure they feel safe coming out here and expressing their opinions and affecting the kind of change they want to see.
Fire knows no boundaries, and so, you know, we train together, we fight fire together.
It's nice to be here and be doing my job.
Just knowing that you're helping out, just knowing you're giving back to the community is pretty good.
Being a part of this mission is honestly very fulfilling. It's what I signed up for. It's what most of the soldiers with me signed up for.
To help out in any way possible and giving 110% to any community that we serve.
And remember this, always ready, always there.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Great information from the Army National Guard. I've got a really cool co-host though today. I've got somebody who works at the NJCAA and the NJCAAE. Mia White, how are you?
Hello, Bubba. How are you? I'm good.
Awesome. Mia and I have been working together the past year or so, and she's been teaching me a lot about how to be cool, and I'm still learning, but we will try. I'm on level 1 of 1,000, and I'm excited to be here with you today, Mia. Mia, tell us about yourself real quick, and we're going to bring in our Sergeant Flores in a little bit as well.
It's all about the baby steps, Bubba. You'll get it. Don't worry. But I am the graduate assistant for the NJCAAE. I have interned for a year, and now I'm the graduate assistant for about a year now, and I'm just super excited to be here and to be doing this webinar with you and the great guests that we're going to talk to.
Love it. Thanks, Mia. All right, we're going to bring in Sergeant Flores, our very own Sergeant Flores. We call you our very own Sergeant Flores if you want to jump in, and because you've enjoyed some let's just put it this way. I've enjoyed some interesting conversations with you over the last year, as well as you carrying me in Call of Duty. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I hope y'all are doing well
Oops.
as well.
We'll make sure we unmute. But I think I can hear you in Discord, but that's okay. If you don't mind on Discord. Yeah, I know where you are. People out there can hear you. You're hanging out somewhere different from your normal digs, right?
That's correct. So part of my job duties is I sometimes have to come to DC to brief some people on esports, which is a lot of fun, as I'm sure some of our guests are used to doing, right? Having to brief our superiors or administrators or whatever the case may be to brief them on esports and have those interesting conversations.
Yeah, but I don't think any of us are briefing the government. I don't think any of us we're briefing our superiors. Are usually presidents of colleges or board members, not the government. That seems a little cooler.
A little bit. They handle probably financially just as much as some of those presidents, but overall, it's great. It's the same way we deal with esports, the same way a lot of educational institutions do as well. So there's a lot of parallels to be drawn there.
Well, Sergeant Flores, thank you for setting up shop out of your normal place and in your esports arena that it looks like you're always in with these cool lights. But thank you for being here. And I wanted to jump into some questions for you. And Mia and I wanted to know kind of about recruitment on your side when it comes to esports recruiting, and how something like being a part of the esports team that you have. And maybe for those people who are out there who haven't really seen us talk about this in the past year, can you tell us how the esports department under the Army National Guard works and what you run?
Absolutely. So I do a little bit of everything, as I'm sure a lot of people in the esports industry can attest to. You normally start off with one thing and you start doing a bunch of other little jobs along with it. As far as the Army National Guard, we did start going into esports, I believe around 2019. So we've been doing this for a minute, and slowly over time, kind of just like any other esports program, right? Kind of got off the ground and started building, adding layers on top of layers, and becoming as effective as possible. Now with that, a lot of it comes with team building, right? Finding the right people to do the right jobs. The biggest thing that we ultimately look for is obviously we have a lot of very talented National Guardsmen within our ranks, and some people that are just incredibly talented in different fields, right? Because as a part-time soldier, a lot of them have different careers, whether it's them working in being a videographer, or designing websites, or managing Discord, setting up streams, running events. We have even people that are wedding planners, so they're actually really amazing at planning things.
Wow.
But getting all that extra talent from our force, and then coming together with our shared passion for esports and for gaming, it's really nice. So being able to pick from a large pool like that is something that we're really grateful for.
So when you're working with this large pool of people to choose from, or ones that are wanting to get in, what are some things you might run them through in recruitment wise in order to see if they're a fit for something like the esports? I don't know, is the esports department, or what do you got? A division?
We just call it a team, to keep it simple.
That's pretty good.
But we do a little bit of everything. Now, when it comes down to identifying people that are the best fit for the job, a lot of it comes, with what experience they do have. However, one thing that I primarily look for is seeing those people that they're trying to get something out of it, or either master or get better at a certain thing, right? Or a certain skill. So by giving them those opportunities, it allows them to actually get that experience, for one, right? And two, it kind of they're able to do it with a little bit more passion. And ultimately, we want to make sure we help out everyone in their career journey, right? So somebody, even if we work with some people that don't have a whole lot of experience, but have a lot of passion for something, and that's something we can work with, because we can teach you what you need to do. You just have to be willing to do it.
Love it. So let's jump into building a team that you mentioned. So now that I know I shouldn't use division, or I don't know, other fancy words from the military. Building a team, when you're working with these recruits or these individuals, what are some struggles you might have with teamwork, communication? What are some things that maybe you in the esports team might do better than maybe somebody at boot camp? I don't know. I feel like there's probably something cooler that you might do that helps with communication beyond just climbing a wall for boot camp. I don't know. Go ahead.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different things that come into it. So one of the very first things that we're taught is how to be a part of a team. So how to be a team member. And we master that over, our initial training and subsequent trainings after that. Now, we're very fortunate that we all know how to work together as a team. So we all know our individual responsibilities to help our greater team or good, move forward. So we've been very fortunate on that aspect. So whenever we tackle a new objective in regards to, hey, we need to get this done, we need to set up this event, set up this stream, or similar to this webinar, everybody can do their jobs individually with the end goal of knowing what the team needs. So we've been pretty fortunate in that. Even like our Rocket League team that we got set up, it's been really great. We have people that we even coach within amongst our own peers, and everybody's committed to produce the best team possible, even if they're not directly playing in it. So it's really neat to work with a group of people that we put the team first. And it carries on over, right? So as a National Guardsman, you're a part-time soldier, and we have a lot of full-time students. So whenever they go to their clubs, they're able to take leadership positions, and it just comes almost natural, right? Because of all the training they've had. For natural disasters, we work with a lot of different federal and state agencies to help those people in need. So it almost becomes ingrained into your DNA. And it's one of the greater things about service in the Army National Guard.
Well, you know what they say, there is no I in team. But I was wondering, Sergeant Flores, what about the skills? Are there any skills that are transferable to careers out service?
Biggest misconceptions is that all we have are combat-related jobs, when in reality we have a whole mix of everything. Like I work under a marketing department, right? We have people that are x-ray technicians, veterinary assistants. Some people on our team actually do all the food like inspections for everything on different posts. It's titled like veterinary specialist, but they handle all the food that goes in and out of installations. There's so many other different things that go into it. People that work in hospitals, people that set up the networks in the hospitals as far as all of our IT related skills. And even those that work in cybersecurity, right? They're working with 3-letter agencies right now. And whenever they get out or finish their term, they already have all that experience, and they can walk into a pretty comfy salary, to put it bluntly.
Good question, Mia. Thank you so much. Hey, Sergeant Flores, we're going to bring you back in a little bit later, and we're going to talk some more about recap what our guests have mentioned. Anything last you want to mention before you jump off?
Looking forward to hearing the rest of the speakers. And ironically, as far as teams go, one of our team players is now a part of the Lackawanna's roster. He just recently joined, so that's exciting to see kind of families intermingle, right?
So he's in the service, and he joined the Lackawanna team as a player.
Yes,
that's really cool.
Yes, student player. Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to give this kid a hard time. What's the person? I guess maybe we won't say his name, just in case. Well, thank you, Sergeant Flores. Appreciate you, sir. We'll see you in a little bit. And now, folks, there was a nice little QR code there. When we bring Sergeant Flores back, I just checked it out, and it was a pretty cool website. So make sure when that QR code pops back in, check it out. Use your camera on your phone and do like I do, like a boomer, trying to look at my phone, trying to hit a button. Mia, that's some cool stuff, right? We get to hear from the Army National Guard and learn about careers and all this stuff. I don't know. Do you have any military in your family?
My grandpa was in the military, yes, but it's definitely cool. And one of his people on his team joined the Lackawanna team. That's crazy how small the world is, and esports is everywhere. We're all connected somehow.
I feel like I guess for us, I feel like that's backwards. Like you go back to college. Like usually you're right out of high school and you go to college. But I mean, this is what the military helps out with, right? It helps you be able to afford to then go get an education. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a
Yeah,
lot of perks.
I love it. Well, I think it's time to bring in our special guest. What do you think?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Okay. Well, Nate and Teddy, if you guys want to jump in, we've got Nate Meeker from Akron, and we have Teddy Delaney from Lackawanna. How are you this evening? Thanks so much for being here.
Welcome.
Doing well. Thank
Happy
you
to
for
be
having
here.
us.
Absolutely.
Well, Nate, I know we hung out a couple times last year in person and on these episodes, these shows. And Teddy, we hung out in Iowa, avoiding tornadoes. And it's great. It's great to have you guys here. We're gonna jump into some questions and really get into the heart of what college esports is for recruitment, because I know there's a lot of students out there that don't know how to take the first step, and then there's a lot of coaches always trying to find students because they don't reach out or they don't know how to, because our best practices and our process for college recruitment is all over the place. So Nate, if you'll tell us about your program first, and then Teddy, you can go second.
Sure. We've been operating now for about 4.5 years. We do different aspects of esports. So we've got the varsity aspect, the club aspect, recreational aspect, all in. We've got about 2,500 students that are involved with the program with those three aspects, as well as the educational aspects. As far as the recruitment goes, we recruit primarily for our varsity programs here on campus, and then also for some of our club programming on campus. For the varsity programming, typically we'll recruit directly out of high school, or potentially students that are looking to transfer from other universities to come to Akron, or looking to come back to college after being a professional in the field. Most of the time, for students that are looking to get noticed, best way to have that happen is to participate in any high school leagues if they are available. In addition to that, participating in any local events, local tournaments where you can go and showcase your skill set. If those are not available to you, trying to get into a team environment where you're able to send full video game or full VODs to the different coaches on the teams. Really what you're looking for if you're a high school student is to find a program that fits with what you want to do academically. So if you want to study business or engineering or education or whatever it might be, find a college that does that well, and then narrow it down to which programs have esports programs, maybe which ones have varsity esports programs, and then start reaching out to those schools directly. Most of them will have ways for you to apply for the team. Maybe they've got ways for you to get connected to try out for the team. They should have a way for you to try out well in advance before you go to the school. Like for us, we just finished tryouts for next fall. So we have our teams solidified already going into the fall season. So you'd be looking to try out when you are a senior in high school. On the club side of things, there's also plenty of opportunities for students out there that are looking for opportunities to get scholarship in broadcasting, shoutcasting, tech support, any ancillary positions in esports. If you're looking for a career in it, there's always a lot of opportunities at colleges that have large esports programs for you to get involved. So definitely do your homework, check around, and see what might be the best fit for you, both academically and on the esports side of things.
All right, go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, so a kind of similar story to Nate. Obviously, the University of Akron is a much larger school than Lackawanna College. Sounds like he has more kids involved in his esports program than we have on our entire campus and satellite campuses, which is fine. But we take a very similar approach. I try to get involved with as many local high schools as I can, especially those that have esports programs. If they do not have esports programs, I am talking to their administrators to try and help build that presence on their campus, because as you know, all of kids of the high school age, or a lot of them, play video games, so there will be interest there. So yeah, we take a very similar approach though. Right now, coming this fall, we're expected to have 50 kids in our varsity program, so again, a little bit of a smaller pool, playing across 5 or 6 different game titles. But yeah, recruiting for us is getting out on the recruiting platforms such as NCSA, Be Recruited, stay plugged in, but also staying connected with our state high school esports leagues, sending them recruiting information. We like to set up events for some of our local high schools in our arena. We have 1,000+ seat theater that we have recently renovated into a gaming arena, which is pretty awesome. So we love to host local high schools to come out, play a variety of different games from Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros, Rocket League, Valorant, all different sorts of things. But yeah, we look for student athletes that excel in the classroom and in their game of choice. And just like Nate said, we definitely look to place them in a study or a major of their choice rather than just, trying to get butts in seats. So it's been a process over the past 4 years. We started our program back in 2018, and we've been growing every year since, reaching a little bit further as time goes on. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been hectic, and we're constantly looking to build and grow the program.
Teddy, I'm sure your team may be small, but I'm sure they're mighty. I know you touched on this a little bit, but when you're recruiting, do you bring academics and interest into the discussion as well, or are you only focused on the esports side?
I think that's the first question. We're here to put high school students or transfer students on a path to graduation and a path to a career. So that's what we ask first. What is what are you interested in studying? And then we fit them with a program that we have within our college. Like I said, I don't like to force students into a different major if we don't have their immediate area of study. That's not something I look to do. So academics come first and foremost for us, because the most important part about being a good student athlete is being a good student.
Definitely, that makes a lot of sense. Moving to Nate really quickly. Nate, when it comes to your program, how important is health and wellness when focusing on recruiting students?
Sure. So from the initial recruitment process, we don't necessarily focus on the health and wellness side, but once they get to campus, it's a major component of the varsity program itself. So the students that are in the program are being monitored by professional staff on campus. And then throughout the course of every semester that they're here, we're doing progress checks on them in terms of how their mental health is going, how their physical health is going, how does that correlate with their in-game performance, and making sure that we're monitoring that to maintain adequate health and mental health for the students that are on our teams. And then if there are any issues that arise, we make sure that they get the help that is needed. They also have a variety of different sessions that we host each semester that are mandatory for the students to attend in order to promote good health and wellness on their end.
Definitely. Health and wellness is important in everything, so it's really good that you guys are making sure that that is being touched on. Teddy, how about you? The same question.
Yeah, I echo a lot of the same sentiments that Nate said. It's not something we immediately look for when recruiting, but once they're in our program, we have regular, we call them sanity checks with them, just to one-on-one with students, team-based meetings with our esports student athletes to make sure that they're eating right, that they're getting outside, touching the grass a little bit, seeing some sunlight. We have a couple different stretch routines that we've had implemented by one of our athletic trainers. But yeah, a lot of the same things, that health and wellness is very important. And, especially when it comes to video games, because, some of the students will be sitting and practicing for 2-3 hours at a time, doing VOD reviews. So it's nice to get them up and about, stretching and keeping them active and staying healthy.
No, as we mentioned earlier, and we were talking a little bit about it, the idea of how to get students to be aware of your programs and how you are able to find students to recruit. You talked a little bit about some LAN events and some things you guys are doing locally. Recruitment visits. Are there recruitment visits happening for you guys? Is there more online talking and then you finally meet them when they show up to school? How does that work for you, Nate?
Sure. So for us, like I mentioned, we do our tryouts very early. We're looking at students that are in their senior year, finishing up their senior year. So in the time between December and March, we're doing our tryouts. We're doing our meetings with the students. Typically, we'll go down to different schools that are in our recruiting area. We'll visit with the students. We'll visit with their parents. We'll visit with their teachers. We'll talk to them, the ones that we are recruiting directly. And then the ones that are interested in coming to Akron to potentially play on the teams, to potentially try out, they will typically schedule a visit day on campus. So they'll come on, some Friday early on in the semester, some Thursday early on in the semester with their parents. They'll come out, they'll come check campus, they'll look at the dormitories, they'll look at all the different stuff on campus that they can do, and then they'll meet with our esports team here on campus to talk about the program. And if they are a good fit, we go ahead and invite them back to tryouts. Typically, we do 2 versions of tryouts on campus where we've got an open version of tryouts where anybody under the sun can come. If you want to try and impress us, come on in and show us what you got. And then we'll do a closed version of the tryouts where we invite a much smaller number of students to come back and try out for the specific spots on the team. Some of them are the students that we are recruiting directly, visiting their schools, visiting their houses in some cases, meeting them online in some cases, depending on where they are logistically. And then some of those students are the ones who really impressed us in the open tryouts. From there, we communicate back and forth with them. Sometimes it's in person, sometimes it's online. Again, it depends on where the student is located. But it's never the first time we're seeing them when they come in the fall. So we've always at least had a video conference with them. But sometimes if they are in California or Florida or someplace like that, it may be the first time we're seeing them in person.
Yeah. Teddy, how about you? Is there more online recruitment, and is that a struggle finding students?
Yeah, so again, echoing a lot of the same sentiments that Nate said, we do a little bit of both. A lot of it starts online with, like I said, through the recruiting platforms. I mean, prior to COVID, I was traveling to high schools giving presentations left and right, and I missed that a lot, and I've been getting back in the swing of things with that, so that's fun. But yeah, a lot, like I said, a lot of the same things that Nate said. We talk online, we have video conferences, we set up visits to their high school. We set up visits for them to come tour our campus. And again, and I'm sure Nate can attest to this as well, recruiting for collegiate esports is kind of a year-round thing, so it never really stops. And especially from a smaller school's perspective, I'm fighting tooth and nail to get top-tier athletes in the door. So we'll have tryouts in the fall for the spring. We'll have tryouts in the spring for the fall. And I mean, if we have kids coming in over the summer, we'll bring them in as well for one-on-ones with our coaches and captains. But yeah, a lot of online, a lot of in person. We definitely want to get them on campus sooner than later so they can get accustomed to, campus life, find out where their dorm is, find out where the cafeteria is, and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
Well, hopefully, as time continues, we can see everything open up 100% back to what it was. But switching gears just a little bit, Nate, my question for you is, when it comes to the parents in the esports world, we know that there's a lot of mixed emotions and stigmas. So how involved are parents in the conversation that you have with people that you may be recruiting on your team?
Typically, they're very involved. I think there is a stigma, but it's definitely changing, especially as the high school esports scene grows. As we see more students getting involved at a younger age with competitive team esports, I think the parents are a lot more understanding of what's going on. And they're involved just like they are with any college decision as to where the student is going to go, how much money is it going to cost, what kind of education are they going to get, what kind of opportunities are there, what kind of scholarships are available. I'd say typically we get more questions from the parents about the institution itself, the financial implications of going to college, and then for the students, it's more questions about being on the team. What is it like to be on the team for esports? What are the student athletes required to do? Those types of things. But definitely, the parents are very involved. I really haven't had too many negative conversations with parents about what we're doing on campus or what type of involvement the students are having within the esports program.
Well, that's good to hear. And Teddy, the same question for you, and also adding on to that question, have you had to find yourself having discussions about how esports is not just playing video games in a basement when talking to parents, or do you think as time continues and we are in the year 2022, that there's more of an understanding about esports.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I enjoy those conversations because I love changing the minds of some of those skeptical parents. Just like Nate said, it doesn't happen too often, but I love being able to explain to the parents that your son or daughter or otherwise is coming to our program in a very structured program. They're not going to be in a dark room playing video games for 12 plus hours a day. They have a structure, they have a routine, they're going to class. I'm checking their grades weekly. They have a GPA requirement. They have study hall requirements. We have, like I said, sanity checks with them to make sure they're happy and they're healthy. And yeah, it's just, I enjoy those conversations, and I love being able to talk to those parents about, how valuable their child is to our team and our program, and how they're coming to get an awesome education first and foremost. And that honestly, the video games come second. We're happy to have them. We know that they're an asset to our team, but they're here for an education. And when parents hear those things, their eyes perk up and their ears or their eyes open up and their ears perk up and they get excited about it. So yeah, I love having those conversations.
Let's talk about the things in college esports that are missing. What is missing in your opinion? I know we talk about this a lot. What do we need to get better at in college esports? Is it understanding sponsorship? Is it collaboration? Is it education, literacy? What are we missing in esports right now in the college space? Maybe it's from the top looking down, right? From pro or from businesses, the non-traditional pipeline that we're in, the pathway. Nate, what's missing in college esports right now that we need to fix? It's a big question.
Yeah, it is a big question. Two major things from my perspective. One, I think that there's no uniformed governing body of esports at the administrator, director, coach level. There's not an organization that's overseeing what's going on. And that really infringes the process of hiring folks, of starting programs, of running programs, of making sure that the programs that are running at colleges are run, I don't want to say in the right way, but they're run with the right things in mind in terms of engaging the students. And that leads to a lot of confusion in the job space as far as who's running these programs, what are they doing, what kind of opportunities are the students involved, and then the colleges themselves are confused in the process because there really aren't, there isn't an organization that you can point to that's certifying this or showing people what they can do or what they should be doing in the space. And the other side of it is, I think, the developer side of things, where it hurts the pro scene, it hurts the college scene, it hurts the amateur scene when the developers can't come to the table and decide to work together to put on an event. And every event is this individualized thing based on the one or two, possibly two games that the developers are creating because they don't want to work with anyone else. That really hurts us because it makes us, it puts us all in a space where rules aren't uniform, where standards of who can play and who can't play and eligibility are all different because there's 50 different rule sets depending on the different developers that are out there. And I think it really is all in the developers. If they all came together and said, okay, this is what we're going to do, these are the standards, let's work together. TOs, go do your thing, but these are the standards that we're going to have for these particular games. It would help us all out in the end and really push us forward to a lot more uniformity.
So beyond just like, are we doing 1v1 or 3v3 in particular games, maybe Smash or Rocket League? But beyond that, you're saying the rules in the across the board, just every type of rule. It sounds like is that Teddy? When we think about the things that are missing in esports, beyond rules, beyond what Nate said, what else is missing that we need to get better at in this space? What can we empower and do next? I know you love speaking about this to schools and being an advocate for it. So what do we need to fix?
Yeah, Nate, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth, literally. Nationwide, global governing body for esports would be a beautiful thing. I'm just going to touch on what he said because I believe it wholeheartedly. But yeah, and the same thing with the developers. It's weird because no one owns the game of basketball, so anyone can run a basketball tournament. But when we're talking about putting together a large scale, Overwatch match, there's so many different conversations you have to have and licensing fees and things like that. So it would be a beautiful thing again if they all came together and just did something other than what they're doing now. But yeah, kind of to branch off of that, I think something that I've wanted since the beginning, when we created our program, I created the program with Joe Murray, who you recently met, Bubba. And all I could do was really call around to programs and directors that were already established and just pick their brains and ask how do I structure my program, how many coaches do I need, this, that, and the other thing. Something that I think NACAD has been doing well is educating those newcomers in esports, whether it be high school or collegiate, on what to expect and what to plan for. And something that I always think about is having the top dogs in collegiate esports come together and write some sort of published article that can be shared with administrations across the country. This is what collegiate esports is, this is how it can benefit not only your college but your community, and just educate the people who don't know about esports, don't know about collegiate esports, and just give them more information on the scene as a whole to watch it blossom and grow.
You guys kind of both mentioned this about publishers. Are you playing in multiple conferences and then publishers also have their own events that are leagues that you're playing in? You're playing in multiple ones. Is this right for you, both of you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Rattle off the alphabet soup. What all are you guys playing in?
Sure. So I mean, when we started, we've played in NACE, the ECAC. We did TESPA when it was around. We've done CCA. Tried our hand in the CRL. There is actually, I think Kurt Melcher had a slide in his presentation at NACAD of how many different leagues there are, and it's all over the place.
And that was
like
old
Nate
photo.
said, all the rules. Right. Yeah. So that needs to be updated. But all those rule sets can be a little bit different for all the different games, and it's confusing sometimes. Right now we're playing in two different leagues, and maybe we change that up going into next year depending on the experience that our student athletes had. But yeah, there's so many leagues out there, and yeah, now the developers are trying to do their own thing as well, and Nate can probably speak to that a little bit more too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we of course play in all of the developer leagues. They all have their own. For my work Discord account, we'll just put it like this: it's hit the cap on servers multiple times, just on joining league Discord servers, and then hitting a cap and having to leave servers that either aren't as active as they maybe once were, or are not posting things or things of that nature. But yeah, there are a multitude of leagues for every game. Of the 9 different games that we play at the varsity level, every single game plays in at least 3 or 4 leagues per year. Most of them significantly more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And the rule sets are all different.
It's the Wild Wild West out there.
Wild West. Yep. One last question for me. Hand it over to me. The thought about pay and pay for coaches and staff. How can we make that uniform? What kind of standards can we show? Do we need to is there a National College Association for pay or something? What are we missing there to get that across the board, not just giving somebody $2,000 for a year's worth of work managing 8 teams? Is there something we can do?
I think really what it is it boils down to narrowing, or not necessarily narrowing, but being specific with the duties that are going to be asked of the individual or individuals when they're hired for a program. Right now, because there's a real lack of education, like Teddy mentioned, for schools that are not aware when they're coming into the program, they're not really sure what to ask of the individual. So if you're looking at the typical higher education kind of pyramid, are they hiring in a coordinator? Are they hiring in an assistant director? Are they hiring in a director? Are they hiring in a senior director? Are they hiring in somebody in athletics, which is a completely different scale? Are they hiring in somebody in student affairs or the rec center? Again, a different scale. And there's no suggested guidelines as to what that might look like. And if you're hiring in a coordinator, or you're hiring in an assistant director, or you're hiring in a director, or you're hiring in a coach, what should those roles look like at that particular university? It exists for most other positions in higher education. It does not exist for esports.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mia.
I want to jump back really quick on what's missing from esports. March is quickly coming to a close, but as we know, March is Women's History Month. So I wanted to touch a little bit on diversity in the esports space. So I'm wondering, both Teddy and Nate, is there much diversity on your teams? And do you think it's missing in college esports in general? And on top of that, how could we fix it?
Yeah, so we have had plenty of, men, women, transgender, non-binary students come through our program. It's an interesting discussion, and I actually was on a panel in one of the NACE national conventions. I think it was NACE, where that question came up. How do we build a more diverse program? And for me, I believe my answer at the time was just get out there and explain that you're welcoming everyone with open arms. There is room for everyone, and that's just the way it has to be. For me, it seems weird and like tough in my mind to go out there and say I need more women on my team. For me, it's easier to just say we want everybody. If you're a good student, if you're a good gamer, you are welcome here. And actually, right now, one of the co-captains on our Overwatch team, Paige O'Hara, she's a female, and she's also our esports information director, and she handles all of our social media and marketing and stuff like that. And we've done several interviews with her. We have her interviewing our president coming up soon. It's just about getting that information out there, welcoming everyone with open arms, and just showing that your program is diverse and preaches inclusivity.
Definitely. And I think sports differs from traditional sports in a way where all are welcome for any game. Nate, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I think for us, honestly, the diversity of the program is very similar to the diversity at our university, which is good. The problem, I guess, within esports as far as diversity is a lot of it goes a little bit deeper than providing the opportunities at the particular campus. A lot of them start a lot younger with access to gaming, access to computers, access to consoles that are able to play those games, chances to play them in a competitive environment when they're younger. So I think a lot of it, while colleges I think have the onus on them to continue to provide the opportunities, I think really the middle schools and the high schools have a lot of work to do in terms of providing opportunities for the players and the people that are in their schools so that diversity continues. Because for us, the trends that we're seeing, it's fairly even in terms of gender diversity as to who's playing games when they're younger. But as they get a little bit older, a lot of the females tend to get out of the competitive gaming and then thus don't engage with the programs that are in their middle schools and high schools, where those middle school and high schools need to continue to engage those individuals with activities and things that may speak to them in a way to keep them within that atmosphere, so that we might be able to continue to engage them in college as well.
Excellent. I mean, this is why we brought you guys on. This is why I brought you guys out, for expertise in the space and trying to learn about what's happening in college esports, and hopefully getting some firepower and getting some information on how we can make it better, because you guys are in the trenches. We're out here just watching you guys do amazing things. I'm going to bring in Sergeant Flores here. I would love to talk to Sergeant Flores, and to kind of transition into the last part of our session here is to talk to you a little bit about diversity as well. We were just talking about diversity in the esports space for college. Well, let's just be honest, the glass monitor over all of esports, even though 45% of gamers in the United States are female, the competitive scene is a struggle for diversity. How in Army National Guard Esports are we dealing and talking about diversity, whether it be gender, race, orientation, anything?
Absolutely. So one thing that I'm really proud of in the Army National Guard is everybody that puts on a uniform comes from a very diverse culture, diverse different races, ethnicities, everything. So I always like to think of it as we wear the same uniform. It's the great equalizer. Male, female, LGBTQ, it doesn't matter. You have a patch on your right shoulder that's the American flag. We have the same mission. Regardless of who you are, we work as a team. Now, when it comes to esports, a lot of times it is harder to find, whether it be females, players as well, right? So, what our main mission is to make it as inclusive as possible, like how Teddy or Nate was saying that, hey, we want to make it as welcoming as possible, invite that it's open to everyone, and ultimately people will just start coming in the door as long as you make it a welcoming environment. We actually just got one of our first female players on our Rocket League team. And at first she was a little shy, right? Because, she's the only female, right? Then over time just opened up and is having an absolute blast and is getting up there competitively with the rest of our players. And it's no different. One of the things that for me that really struck me with her, so we obviously do our tryouts, but I also add an interview portion to it. And in her interview, she wanted to say that she wants to be a voice and welcome more female players into competitive sports, and that really resonated with me because it should be open to everyone. And in esports, you're behind a monitor, right? It doesn't matter if you can compete at a high level. It doesn't matter how you look, whether you have 4 limbs or 3 or 2. That doesn't matter as long as you can compete and have fun and be a part of a community. That's at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. We're all human.
Very well said.
Yeah, Sergeant Flores, I really agree. I like how you brought up the uniform. You all wear the same patch. That's awesome. You and I have never had a chance to speak before, so I just wanted to circle back a little bit and get to know how you got into esports.
Well, I've been playing for a while, since I was a little kid. Play a lot of games, and I always found myself just getting in the competitive scene. I don't really play a lot of games too casually. I do get a little sweaty for a lot of stuff. So, in comes, I used to play a lot of Halo back in the day. Did LAN parties. Me and my buddy got so good that we weren't invited back to LAN parties because we would 2v8 people and still win. But, going into how I got into the Army National Guard for esports is I was playing Rocket League. I think at the time, getting into GC was the highest rank. So got into GC, and then I ran into other players that were in the Guard or in the Army, and then joined up in Discord, joined the community, and then I became a player. I was actually a sub for the main team. So even now I can still kind of compete with my players. Not the SSLs, but the other GC 2s or 3s I can hang. But it's one of those things of, it just started with that, playing competitively, getting kind of in that realm, and then being invited into the community. That really was great for me. I even in the Army National Guard, as we were starting up esports, finding other people with the same hobbies, same passions as I have, that was awesome. Because we run into that in the Army National Guard all the time. But for gaming, for people that are like, oh yeah, I have my own Discord, I do this, I stream, I've played all these same games as well. You just hit it off, and it's amazing.
Nate
And the
Teddy,
little sweat shows you care, right?
Yeah. It's just trying to master and become better at a certain time, and it keeps it engaging and interesting for me. So, not talking,
Nate,
interesting.
Yeah, Nate and Teddy, I saw you guys light up a little bit when we talked about video games and Halo and LAN parties. Is that some history there for you, Nate or Teddy, with playing games growing up, maybe college, high school, before?
LAN parties, yes. I'm a little old for Halo, but LAN parties for sure. Yeah, I remember traveling around to hotel conference rooms, 20, 25 years ago, bringing the PC with me. First game I really remember doing it with was Counter-Strike 1.6 when I was in college, doing a lot of travel competitions for that. Had a lot of fun. That definitely got me started down the road in esports, and education's been a great route to kind of finish it out over the last 20 years.
Teddy, how about you?
Yeah, man. And for me, honestly, I was a traditional athlete my entire life. Still love to get outside, play basketball, soccer, all that stuff. But my mom didn't let me have a video game console until I was about like 14 or 15. I would get home from school, do my homework, and she would kick me out of the house until the lights came on. But yeah, I didn't start playing video games heavily until college, when I had a little bit more free time and I wasn't living under my mom's roof. But yeah, I played a lot of Halo. And then it's funny saying that now because, now I'm the director of a collegiate esports program and my mom's my biggest supporter. So it's funny how that happens.
Mom on your side, does she wear a jersey with your name on it and come to the event as well?
She does indeed. Absolutely.
Is that do you guys see that often where parents are showing up to events maybe and like traditional sports? Are you seeing more and more of that or not yet, or it's just because there's a lot online?
I mean, for me, when we host the events for high schools, yeah, a lot of their parents do come because I'm sure the kids are very excited about it, and they're like, "Come on, mom, come on, dad, just come watch me win." And then they win, and it's a beautiful experience. So we love to see the support of the parents like that for sure.
Well, we're going to wrap up here. Sergeant Flores, I wanted to get some info from you. Lastly, Army National Guard information we can share out there that people need to know about Army National Guard Esports, maybe, codes to something special that like nuclear codes we need to know. I don't know. You're talking to the government this week, so you probably know something cool. I have no idea. But yeah, tell us more about Army National Guard and Army National Guard Esports.
Not at liberty to disclose. But what I am is, you can check us out at nationalguard.com/esports. And for those students out there, especially, being a part-time soldier, you can be a full-time student as well. So definitely look into your options, different career fields that can work as a stepping stone to your future career outside of once you're finished with college. It just works that much better. Within the Army National Guard, you get, obviously, learn how to be a part of a team. You get paid to go to schools to learn how to teach and train others and lead, which ultimately, once you go out in the private sector, you're more of an asset, right? Because you have more experience, you've already managed people, and all these additional skills on top of getting your degree. So definitely take a look, and if it works out for you, great. If it doesn't, it's definitely worth still looking at as to check all your options and join some of these great esports programs, right? Helps pay for the tuition, get to play, have a good time, and there's nothing better than that.
Thank you, Sergeant Flores. And Teddy, if people want to know more about your organization and how they can get involved, where can they find you? Where could they reach out? Not just socials, but in general.
Sure, yeah. So obviously you can go to our college's website, lackawanna.edu. And yeah, we have, I mean, I don't want to immediately plug the socials, but yeah, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, looking into creating some TikToks. But yeah, our Twitch channel is twitch.tv/lackawanna.edu. But within those socials, we have our link tree available that leads to our recruiting questionnaire and a bunch of other different links to get involved with our program.
Awesome. And then Nate, how about you? How can we reach you?
Yeah, anyone who's interested can find us at UAkron, UAkron.edu. And all of our socials are Zips Esports, ZIPS Esports.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent. Well, Sergeant Flores, Nate, Teddy, this has been great. Mia, you absolutely killed it. I'm glad I'm not going to be here next time because you're going to do way better without me. And I don't know about you guys, but she did amazing.
Thank you, everyone.
So
it was
much.
so nice meeting all of you.
It was wonderful. Mia and I are going to stay on,
me.
and we will catch up with you guys later. But thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Sergeant Flores. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. And me and I will stick around and close out the show. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so yeah, we got to hear from some amazing experts, right, Mia?
That's right.
They what was the most intriguing part for you, or what was something you learned that you didn't think you were going to learn?
I really liked how Nate was talking about how he enjoys having the conversations with the parents who may be skeptical. And then once he said that he didn't get a console until he was about 14 or 15, it all clicked. Like, oh, okay, his mom wasn't really on the same page, so I'm sure he feels connected to that. So that was definitely interesting to me. What about you?
Well, I like your question about diversity, and I was trying to plug like what are some things we can fix? What are some things we can fix in the space? Because we get to talk to a lot of coaches, right? We get to talk to a lot of programs. You and I, and I know Jeff, your organization, and the guys here who are on our production. We get to talk to a lot of colleges, and I think just hearing, man, like what can we do to get more diversity starting younger, because I think that pipeline is important, and we could talk about toxicity and issues why maybe people who aren't cis white males play and why they don't want to play sometimes. So I enjoy that part because it's just diversity, and that's what that's what we get to talk about, and I get to sit in this weird spot where I'm not in those shoes, so I want to learn. I mean, we got to be allies. We got to learn about this stuff. We've got some fun stuff coming up next, right?
Yes, I believe we have a match coming up.
Yeah, we've got. Looks like we got Fort Scott Community College versus Grays Harbor College, a Valorant match. I believe that's right, unless somebody in the chat is going to say, "Hey, that's not right." That's what I have written down. But Mia, you're going to be all alone here next time without me. I'm going to be on a plane. What are you expecting from your next
Oh, I'm sure it'll be so lonely. It's going to be really lonely without you. But I'm ready. I'm excited, and I hope it goes as well as this webinar did. It was awesome meeting these guys.
Looks like it's Careers in Esports. Our next one on April 7th. So please tune in back here on twitch.tv/NJCAAE, and we'll be talking about Careers in Esports. Look for it on socials, NJCAAE on socials for more information coming up. Follow Mia on social. She's pretty cool. She has photos about dogs. I don't know. Do you have photos about dogs? I was just going to say that because
Of course.
You have dogs, don't you? You have dogs that you put away.
I do.
Uh-huh.
Jeez, Bubba, you have to follow me, I guess.
I don't use the interwebs much, but awesome. Well, Mia, it was great. So much big thanks to Nate, Teddy, and Sergeant Flores for coming. We will be here on the show again throughout the year, talking about esports, talking about college esports, careers, all sorts of fun stuff. And we'll be sponsored by the Army National Guard this whole year. And there'll probably always be a game afterwards and some great guests. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Bubba. And make sure to stay tuned on the socials.
Yes. Stick around for the match.
Bye.
It's going to be cool. They're playing Valorant. Pick the corner. Pick the corner. Pick the corner.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is going to fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 Classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it!
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
While I go to school full-time. While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Wow.
rogue virus. No jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
While I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
A rogue virus. No jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Welcome one, welcome all to the NJCAAE Match of the Week presented by ARNG. Shout out to the Army National Guard for sponsoring this. I'm joined here by Shakir. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you doing?
I'm great. Ready to hop right into this best of three. It's going to be Ford Scott, the Gaming Greyhounds versus Grays Harbor College. We have a fantastic best of three in front of us, and I am absolutely ready to jump right into it. I do believe I just got word from our producers that we are just going to be heading straight into this matchup as well. Do you have any predictions now that the patch has dropped before this match? Do you think we're going to be seeing any new agents as compared to what we're seeing on the NA qualifiers?
Well, I mean, I think the new patch coming into it definitely changes things up a little bit, but overall, not a whole lot of changes to really make you want to use any agents more or less. Maybe a couple here and there, but overall, the trend that we've been seeing in the last 2 weeks with some of these agents coming in, I think that's what's going to persist through on. So hopefully, we shouldn't see anything too out of the blue here, and we get a nice easy match for us to cast, but something that's still really exciting and overall new to what we've seen months prior.
Yeah, I think we're in a really interesting spot in the meta as well, where you saw even in some of the qualifiers, I believe it was Optic that was experimenting a little with having Victor on the Neon, things like that. So there's still room for innovation. We can still see a lot of agents come out of left field here, which, especially when it comes to the collegiate level, the collegiate teams love their theory crafters. They love to bring some crazy strategies out to the forefront. So I really would not be surprised to see just some completely out of pocket agent selects here, and I would love that. I love that because the variety is the spice of life. It's the spice of the game, baby. I want to see every single agent used to its fullest potential. That being said, in we go. Our first map will be Ascent, as we already see a ton of hovers here. Already the Jet locked in, the Sage as well, and we may just get ourselves a Brimstone.
If we get a couple of Brims on here, I'll be ecstatic. I do love me a cheeky Brimmy. So there we go, locked in. Chamber, the KO pick as well. So yeah, a lot more creative than what we probably would have seen about 2 months ago, and that's what I love, right? This isn't going to be a mirror comp. These are definitely very unique compositions, and so the strategies that you have to bring in when you're entering into a sites, those are very different from both teams, and also the way that they're defending. So there's kind of a lot less that you can predict if you're an opponent, because the strategies that you're doing yourself, you can't necessarily anticipate the other team doing those exact same strats. So that's what I love about this, and this little sweet spot that we're in as far as these patches go. Yeah, there's a couple coming out to slightly refine the meta, but overall, it's still a major change that's kind of taking teams time to innovate and figure out what's really working for them. So that's the nice little gray area we're stuck into right now.
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, look at these two team comps. They're only going to have two agents that are actually mirrored on both sides. It's just going to be the Killjoy and the Brimstone. Other than that, all unique, which is something that we really haven't seen too often since, the game's release. This is one of the first times I've had a majority different team comp on both sides when it comes to the collegiate level. So it's really nice to see that. I'm really excited to see how these two different team compositions can play out against each other. and who which strategy ends up panning out for them a little bit better. Obviously, sometimes it can't just be the aim differences that make all the difference, but I do like to see some good strategy net a few rounds here and there.
You also see on the Grays Harbor side, right? 2 duelists coming out. I guess they're playing very heavily for that attacking side with Gab on the Jet and Tobias on the Reyna, but no duelists on the Fort Scott side of things. I mean, you have Chamber there, so I would, in a lot of cases, I could see the crossover there in terms of being able to be aggression. You have that escapability with your teleport. So in that sense, you still have this very mobile, very aggro agent, but no true duelist on that defending side. So again, probably leaning towards playing this first half. And I think looking at this, both teams are looking to win out the first halves and use that to limp through to the end rather than picking compositions based for their second half.
Yeah, and as we already see heavy pressure towards this mid side. Reflex, he's going to have to be tested here. The man on the front lines, he's going to hear a ton of footsteps coming up as well. He's got the trap sprung out for him from the chamber. A lot of damage from the shock darts as well. 2 kills, 3 kills. Not before being traded out, though. It's only a 2 for 3 so far. All things considered, that could have gone much worse. There's several players all ready to strike as they collect the bomb. It's Sui coming out of nowhere. Last 2 players go down. It's a convincing pistol round for Fort Scott.
Oh yeah, with 3 alive carrying into the next as well, so helps you build up that eco buffer, and I really like that because Grays took so much mid control very early on, but Fort Scott, the strategy, they never fully backed out of mid, so even though Grays Harbor got a couple of kills to open the round up, they weren't able to fully secure it because it was this constant flood of players from the Fort Scott side, even pushing the smokes when you at least expected, so Grays definitely caught out there. Fort Scott reclaiming that mid control, and a nice little anti-eco for the second round.
Yeah, that chamber trap was so crucial there. I mean, they all got stuck in place. The shock dart as well was able to line up one as we see Reflex Finest once again. He's back on the front lines. He's going to try and pin them into the corner with that molly. They're cooking a little bit here. Everyone kind of just playing tit for tat, going pitter-patter here. But instead, it's all the way of Fort Scott. A flawless round for their second. They're feeling good right now.
Yeah, that's what you want from your anti-eco, right? If you're Grays Harbor, you're not expecting to win that. If you can get a kill, 2 kills, 3 kills would be phenomenal. None isn't great, but it was just pistols. But Fort Scott have set themselves up for a very nice bonus round here. They got Spectres and full armor for everybody. Their lowest player has 2,200 in the bank, so eco-wise, they're very comfortable.
Yeah, really interesting to see them run the same strategy back again after it didn't work the first round. That one definitely
Hit him with the run it back.
There's
no Phoenix in here. What's going on?
I mean, damn, these guys are they have some real self-belief if they want to run that strategy back a third time after getting flawless. Oh yeah, I like it. Instead, they're playing this one a little bit more tactical, waiting it out, seeing the cap player, see if he overpeaks just slightly too far forward as Acid just kind of jump spotting them out. So we see a quick audible being called here. All of them through CT. They're going to try and quickly shift the momentum of this round and the pacing.
They haven't given up any information for Fort Scott either, so you can start to see on the minimap they're getting a little antsy, trying to peek extra corners, begging for any type of information. We're about a minute in, and they haven't given any, but time's going to start working against them here.
And here's one of the difficult things about not having a Sova on this comp is that it's really difficult to get those shock darts out to destroy the nanoswarm grenades, to destroy the Killjoy utility. Yeah. If they walk out onto the site and they go right into these nanoswarm grenades, this could be disastrous. Out they go. There's the blind from Reyna, tucked into the corner. Do they actually know this Killjoy's there? Will they check it? It's all about the discipline here. And as they're smoked off, I mean, only 23 seconds left in the round. They have to do something. They have to do it soon. They're running out of time here.
And then forced off long enough. Here's the hit.
In they go. Acid gets the first. Teching to the corner. Megalodon. He's got everyone in front of him. He's got the first. The second goes down as well. They're not going to be able to get this bomb down. 7 seconds in the round, and they just get picked apart. 3-0. Fort Scott looking fantastic.
What a lineup there at the end for Acid as well. A very beautiful swing behind Generator. I like the change of pace. We talked about how they didn't immediately take mid control this time around, and I think the reason they did that in the second round was for this very tactical third round. The issue is they didn't take any space by playing patiently. So you get onto A with 40 seconds to go, but there's so much util there, Killjoys there, KOs there, and then the Brim Smoke comes down right as those nanoswarms go out. So there's just no time to set up that hit, and it, you know, you can tell when you're rushing.
Oh, this is such an aggressive angle, and he gets domed. That's going to be a gun donated over as well to make matters worse. As it's smoked off, they should have free access to it. Oh, instead, just spammed. Gab gets a second, though. 2 sheriffs ring out for headshots already, so the man advantage goes the way of Grays Harbor.
And they picked up a weapon here off the back of that.
Pretty handy, all things considered, early on in the round. It's been so difficult for them to crack the defenses, so now that they're able to do this, they have one running out mid. That is risky from Reflex's finest. He's looking to even get one before he goes down, considering he was facing down multiple members there. Still, 2v3. Bombs should be going down here. They do have complete access on the site. Oh, don't do it, Tobias. Was thinking about it for sure. The KO knife will spot out Gab, make sure that there is no abilities to be used there, but already on top of the generator. Are they going to think to clear this one out? Instead, they get a spam headshot. They line up the 3K on the round. Gab secures it in Grays Harbor in the most unlikely fashion. They get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, Grays Harbor kind of confuses me here because they lost despite having the weapons advantage in the last round, but this time they come in with pretty much nothing to work with and 2 pistols, you know, clear out opening kills for them. So that's 2 weapons picked up, and we saw the impact that had on Tobias in his duel at mid, and then Gab, of course, the 2K up there. So it's these opening kills that they were able to find here, and that's off the back of them kind of peaking, and I think Fort Scott also getting a little overzealous around these angles as well, knowing that they would have the better weapons, but they didn't necessarily have the better angles.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of those things where if it works out for you, you feel like it's a genius play, and if it doesn't, then you just feel kind of silly.
100%. Yeah.
In that case, yeah, they're a little silly, but you know, sometimes in life you just gotta learn your lessons the hard way. So
sometimes.
Exactly. As we see, where is this Jet at? I think Jet is all the way up cat already. That's interesting to see as they spring out onto the B site. Then Jet's just playing distracting, going for the flank. They have access here, and they're flooding right now. Reflex's finest is able to get himself around the corner back to safety just slightly, but Gab activates on the flank. 2 kills as well. Grays Harbor firing on all cylinders come this round.
Do they know that Reflex finest is right here? This Brimstone is very deep. I think at this point they've got to. That's how much control they've given up, but that's a cheeky spot to be hiding in. Now it's been given up there.
Gab didn't know. Ended up costing Gab their life. But I mean, hey, information given over through your death, so not completely invaluable.
That was a really clean hit from them, to be honest. They did lose a couple of players there, but very clean. And it comes off the back of some bad timing from Brucey, the Sova there, for Fort Scott, holding down that B site. Goes into the Owl drone. Doesn't spot anybody initially, and right as soon as that Owl drone gets up in towards B main, that's exactly when the push is coming through. So can't quite get out of the drone fast enough. Goes down, and that's a wide open site. It's hard to predict that sometimes when your util does the exact opposite of what it needs to be. But it's Fort Scott's first, I guess, eco hybrid kind of round coming into this one.
A bit of unfortunate utility playing out there, but Fort Scott, what is their econ looking like is the question. They've lost 2 rounds in a row now. They didn't exactly have a lot of money to work with come the first 3 rounds. They might just be on a light by this round. Yeah, it looks like it's just pistols.
It's the way they've lost these last 2 rounds as well, right? Despite a very dominant first 3 rounds, they haven't lost very gracefully in the last 2. So all of the money that they had built up, you know, that bank is pretty much gone.
Oh yeah, you're seeing a lot of pistols, a lot of Spectres coming out. Acid though does have a real weapon, not anymore. Turns out Gab's getting ran down though, dead to the shorty with an operator. Oh, that's a disaster. Nice aim now, trying to take a very forward position. Should hear these footsteps coming up, but Reflex is going to hear nice aim as well. Onto the site they go. They're going to be quickly getting flanked out here, though. Here comes the footsteps. Everyone getting tagged up, but no one getting dropped just yet. Just don't have the weapons for it. The Spectre not the greatest at hitting them long range. Megalodon now waiting to spring through this smoke. Oh, but just spammed down. Couldn't even get out in time. 4v3 now. Low HP on a few members. most of them gotten healed up already. Not giving an inch. No one wanting to let them back onto the site. Just crowding around this generator. But Tobias, he's sitting A main. He's sitting pretty. Trying to get himself back to safety. The Headhunter gets one. A game of inches right now as this rain is pinned in, but it's still a 3v2. And as they try and drop hell, they're just getting eviscerated. No chance. 3-3 now as Grace Harbor mounts the comeback.
With Megalodon hiding initially there in Wine over towards the A side, it looked like a very dangerous post plan for Grace Harbor because Fort Scott had the opportunity to kind of pincer in through. But I think that round kind of fell apart when Megalodon got sprayed through the smoke by LHC. That could have been a really good opportunity on the half buy to really shut him down. Although that being said, you know, Megalodon with the shorty took down an operator. So when you talk about eco scores,
yeah, that's value.
That's some bonus points for the Killjoy.
That is value if I've ever seen it. Out comes the Hunter's Fury. One tag is there. Nearly the second. Can't quite find it. Oh, that was so close to tagging 3 or 4 at once, but
yeah, could have been very dangerous.
Yeah, couldn't quite reach there.
Ooh,
really, Grace
okay.
Harbor getting away with one there. Oh my God, he found it with the shock dart.
Yeah, a little bit of redemption, honestly. You know, after missing with the Hunter's Fury, get it with the shock dart. It was just a setup. Oh, but the operator. So that's 2 or 3 guys down, excuse me, on Grace.
Don't do it. Look at this psychopath ready to spring through the smoke.
Does he do it with the op? Surely not.
Ooh. Just taking a little smoke bath right now. That would have been terrifying if that dart actually got the scan off. So he would have just been able to free fire out of the smoke. In fact, now they see him here. He's gonna hold a tight angle. Very nearly hits it. 15 HP. Just trying to rendezvous out. Gets away with the skin of his teeth. His life is hanging by a thread right now. Now Acid is the next one up to the plate. LHC will be on the front lines. Instead, doesn't want to take the fight. Will just buy time for his teammates to rotate over.
They're both trapped right there.
Oh, a 3K on the round. Could just finish it up with 4. Only 1 left. Acid will do him in. Doesn't want to drop the op. They get to keep all that money. Fort Scott now trying to build up that economy again.
Yeah, back and forth. 3 rounds for Fort Scott. 3 rounds for Grace Harbor. I would say that maybe this could be the start of another 3-round period for Fort Scott. That's a prediction out of absolute thin air. There is no reasoning to back that up other than it would make the chart there in the middle look very pretty.
That's true. That's true. And that's kind of the only thing you need for predictions, right?
Yeah. Look at the ultimates for this one. So 4 on each team. Oh, and a missed shot.
Wow,
Yikes.
That was so unfortunate. LHC actually turns around. I believe if he was still facing forward there, he clips his shoulder and maybe even gets a kill there.
Would not be surprised.
Playing with some absolute psychopath tendencies there. Instead, shot out of the sky, some anti-aerial action there as Reflex's finest. He's up close and personal yet again. Brucey's also spamming through the wall. They're just getting absolutely grinded in the meat grinder. Fort Scott, you're absolutely right. That's 2 out of 3 so far. They're looking to get another 3-round interval.
And this would be the one to do it. The buy is not going to be perfect. Actually, I say that. Yeah, buy's not going to be perfect on the Grace Harbor side either. So they got the Hero Phantom on Tobias, the Vandal on Zodet as well, but everyone else relegated to these lower tier weapons. And yeah, I think Fort Scott actually could put up an argument for even more because now look at the real bank that they've saved up. 7.3 on their Brimstone. And still 4 ultimates they're bringing into this round. Grace Harbor has 3 of their own though. So now would be the time to use it. Absolutely worth the cost.
It looks like they're aware that they could be in the corner. Instead, Megalodon still gets the first kill. Dashed right into his face, but now everyone else on the team is already crowding around him. Going to be able to get the first. Gun able to be retrieved as well. So really taking these early duels, Fort Scott, kind of unnecessary, giving away some economy here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, this is going to be a big, and it's going to be painful. Brucey sprays him down. Scott, what a combination of utility and firepower.
Yeah, what a way to get up to 6 to get up to the halfway point of this half. And things were looking very good for Grays Harbor as well, right? You get the 1-for-1 trade, but that means way more value-wise for Grays because not everybody has a weapon. So they effectively get the kill. They take 2,900 away from Fort Scott and then give themselves 2,900 off the back of that. So the value there is so much higher for Grays. Plus, then your Sage can get the Resurrection off, and you're looking at a 5v4 again. But you got to remember, there's still ultimates on the Fort Scott side. That was a perfect combination. Yeah, a great round from Fort Scott. A good recovery as well after some silly aggression really shifted the favor towards Grays.
Oh, what an angle. This should be a free kill.
Cheeky.
There's one. He might even peek out for a second. As they go to retrieve the bomb, they have no idea where they're getting shot from. A second, a third. Are you kidding me? Pepe point. He doesn't know.
And he's gone too.
Nice aim now. Gonna be the next one to try and recover this bomb, but already 2 to contest with, and a headshot on for the ace. Sui, are you kidding me?
I mean, how do you even know that that angle is there? I mean, it's just, you got to be looking around. You know, where's the gap? That was the tightest possible angle.
Give Sui the ace right now.
They're going to right here. Brucey, don't do it.
Oh, let's go. It's the ace. Just what the doctor ordered. Fort Scott breaking the 3-round curse. They're getting 4 in a row. Grace Harbor, I mean, they were looking good for a while, but their momentum has just been completely stifled here.
That's the challenge, right? When those early rounds, that's really where you have to find the impact, because once your opponent settles in economically and can pull out single double op setups without risking how their future rounds are going to look like, you know, once they get comfortable in that state, it's very, very tough to break it, especially on a map like this, which can lean defensively at times. So Grays Harbor, I think the 3 rounds that they got, they should be happy with. I'd like to see them get 1 or 2 more here with how hot of a start they had. But that's the risk here. The last 6 rounds, once you're just seeing buy rounds come out, it can get very dangerous. The Hunter's Fury, not a lot of impact before. Gets a tag here. And there's the counter with the Brimstone ult. Just gets out.
Pretty even damage being traded, all things considered. But, yeah, definitely the Sova ultimate could have been placed a little bit better there. We'll still get the information with the Owl drone now. And that's going to cause a quick shift in momentum. Oh, Sui very nearly gets 1 through the smoke. Instead, he's going to rendezvous out to safety. The gap is already pushed. Megalodon now. Just trying to make it back to the site. Already being shot hot on the heels right now. They're going to have to contest the entire team storming through right now. Acid can't land the first shot. The second one is good, though. He's going to try and peek back out, but it's into the blind. He's taken down. A sea of blue in the kill feed. But Tobias, he's doing everything he can to try and claw this back into their favor. Sui is omnipresent, though. That tour de force is singing. As there's only one left, it's all down to Gab. Slowly encroaching on a flank, but I mean, at this point, they can afford to watch every single angle in the game. Maybe find a window here.
Okay, hold on. Gab. Ooh.
Oh, 13 seconds though, not enough time.
10 seconds left.
Going for some consolation. Oh, they line up.
5 seconds.
He's got to find Brucey.
Kill right now.
No.
He's around the corner. He's got to go for it. He hit the headshot. Brucey wins it with a classic right click.
How often does the classic right click actually end up working in your favor there? Brucey narrowly gets that one to go through. Actually, that round there at the end, Grays nearly pulled it off. There was no reason that round should have come down to 20 health. Absolutely no reason.
Yeah. Literally, they had the round dead to rights.
Yep.
There was no chance they win if they just, you know, leave one to just run away. Because there's no time to plant the bomb. But, oh man, that was terrifying.
Sui's got 14 kills as well in the game. He leads the server. He's got a teammate with 13. So far ahead in terms of fragging.
Last round of the half.
Ooh, come on, Odin.
Spam through the wall. We do plenty of damage here. Odette! Oh,
poor
Brucey
Zodette.
Sniffs it out. Already a 4v5. And look at how low the Sage is. Had to use the heal. Sui just gets another free pickin'. Oh, Lordy.
They like this kind of show presence B and then run through mid, up through cat. They've done this 3 times now. It's only worked for them once. Okay, but Gab,
Megalodon though, hand of the
trying
cookie
to
jar.
change that. Yeah.
They actually do have pretty free access to A, all things considered. I mean, hard to say why Fort Scott didn't see this coming, but it looks like their retake is just as good. Maybe they just wanted to flex how good they were at retaking a site, because Suey does get the first, the second goes down, Brucey gets another, Brucey gets a third, and Brucey shall not be denied. 12 HP as he gets 2 more entering the site, and that's going to be the 9th round of the half for Fort Scott, bringing this half to a close. Grays Harbor strung together 3 rounds, but that's about all they will get.
You ever watch Finding Nemo? You don't mess with Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Don't do it.
Smelling blood.
Look at them. Suey and Brucey. 16 kills for both of them. Zodette, unfortunately, still 0. Big old goose egg. 0-10-0.
Oh, no.
Not what you want to see from your Killjoy. And then even
a defensive-sided agent, right?
Oh, absolutely. So I would not be surprised if Zodette comes alive. That's the one counter. You know, if you're in the comms saying, Zodette, what's going on? You'll say, look, listen, second half. That's where I shine, you know, but they're going to need to shine here big time, and it starts with the pistol for sure.
Oh, yeah. CC-sided players. CC-sided players.
Yeah. I mean, that defensive is where this Killjoy shines. But again, I think both compositions were picked based off of the first half. You know, it played more to their strengths, so it's not ideal for the Grays Harbor side, because they do have 2 duelists, so they're going to have to be very aggro on defense. And Gab is.
Ooh, Zodette actually getting scanned there. That might draw the attention away, but if this drone actually clears the corner, it doesn't. They're not going to check. They're not going to clear this jet right now.
If they push, though, I think they've backed away
this could
here.
Just be a fake.
Bold moves. There's still 2 at A. Oh, but look at how deep. I didn't even realize how deep Suey is.
Wow, a great audible being called, and Suey not even looking the right way. Nice aim. Not even on the same planet. Suey even gets a second. You should never be able to pull out the second in that position, but instead just quick reflexes and quick aim. A second, 2 HP onto LMC thanks to Suey. Brucey finishes off the kill with a spam from a classic, but that does like half a point of damage per shot. That's ridiculous. Now Gab, the next one up to the plate. Brucey takes her out. Zodette is here, but just can't shore up a single kill. It's 3 on the round for Brucey. The man who was terrorizing Grays Harbor as of last half continues his absolute rampage.
That B setup was so strong there, but Suey somehow just contacts his way so deep into A without ever being challenged, and there's a 2-agent setup there as well. It's not like there's one person and they're playing off site. There are 2 players actively on the site in Tobias and Nice Aim, and neither of them spot Suey as he just walks in uncontested. That should not happen.
Unfortunately it did, and Gab back in the same position. Are they really not going to clear this jet a second time? Oh man, they are just teasing right now. Look at this. Naughty, naughty.
Oh yeah, they're teasing him all right.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Please don't tell me they fake this again and leave this poor jet.
I think it depends on
What
Suey.
could have been. You can even see the muzzles right now. There's finally the first kill. Even dashes out, but sprayed down. Wasn't able to clear the door in time. Instead, it's just a 1-for-1 right now. Suey lurking out mid. Will be heard by LHC. I mean, at least I'm assuming so. Finally, the alarm bot will draw the attention. There are several players here, and with just a classic, LHC doesn't really have a lot of options. Instead, just goes down. Zodette stuck against the wall, 25 HP on the site with just a classic as well. I don't see this one going very far, especially with Suey already preparing to cut off the rotations. Double headshot back-to-back just like that. Thank you very much. 11-3 as Fort Scott pulls away.
When you've got players, you know, full forcing into rifles on round 2, that's how you know that they've basically written you off. I mean, Fort Scott felt so confident there that Suey went up and just bought a full Phantom instead of, you know, skipping that traditional, we're going to anti-eco with the Spectres. None of that. He came to play absolutely in this half. And they should feel good, right? I mean, it's 11-3. They've won the first 2 rounds here. This is Grays Harbor's first full bye round. So if anything happens, you know, this would be the round to do. Last time they just had pistols, so you don't have a lot to work with. but they've left a lot of gaps in this defense in the first 2 rounds that we've seen.
Oh yeah, if Grays Harbor is going to put their foot down, it has to be during this round. If you let it get to 12, then really you just have zero room for error the entire game, and that's just never something you want to be playing with. Tobias Maximus is the one watching the smoke, but they're just springing through it. No regard for human life. This time they will have to pay for their crimes, though. LHC gets 2 headshots through the smoke. And for the first time in, I'm not even sure how long, Fort Scott is actually at the man disadvantage.
Yeah, feels good for Grays. They have the weapons advantage as well, and the man advantage. Go for that mid control. You gotta watch out for nice aim in that cubby area. But otherwise, 3 towards A, so they could have a free pathway towards B here. Those shots might have given up their location, though.
Oh yeah, alarm bot. Luckily good for kind of patrolling a certain part of the map without actually having to do it
30
themselves.
seconds left.
So really everyone kind of just getting quartered in, squeezed into the middle of the map right now, and you can already hear the footsteps all around them. Tobias Maximus will be the one to throw up the blind. He's gonna get the first. One last player left. Brucey's got to kill everyone. He may just do it. Sui alive. But 12 seconds of the round. Where exactly can Sui actually get this bomb off to? Gav is waiting to shoot him in the back. That's 7 seconds. Just gonna go for the fight. Run for your life, Zodet! You win this if you just hide! It's over. Sui not able to get the bomb down in time or get that final kill. But man, oh man, if Zodet stayed out there for just a few more seconds, that could have just been the end of it.
I think she was very hungry, or they were very hungry for that first kill. But hey, you know, you don't need kills to win a round. Sometimes you just gotta stay alive.
Exactly. Zodet has already won a 4th of their team's total rounds just by not doing anything. Pretty good strategy overall. 11-4 now.
That's good impact. You know, again, in the post game, right, in the comms, you know, someone's saying, Zodet, you got to have more impact. You turn to the table and you say, hey, look, I am directly responsible for 25% of our round wins. You know, one of you guys has to step up, I think.
That's factual.
It probably wouldn't fly well, but mathematically, it works.
You should be an agent with that kind of logic, baby. I love it.
I'll go in and coach. 100 Thieves, sign me alongside Sean. I'm available.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I love that signing, by the way. Always happy to see Sean getting on a team there as Brucey now might just try and press this attack to Killjoy.
Here.
How much does that actually cover on the map here? No players detained, so no real defenses broken up over it just yet, but they all are forced into the back of the site, and Megalodon is able to open the party up right. Grays Harbor, it seems like out of nowhere, they just dropped most of their members here. Only 2 left. Nice aim and Tobias. But they're all kind of iced off. They're stuck mid with so much space to work out. Megalodon does get caught kind of pants down there.
Yeah, how do you not see that coming, right?
Well.
But, hey, free kill for nice aim. Can't complain about it too much.
Yeah, but with the only nice aim being the last member standing here, doesn't seem to be too likely they come away with 2 kills here. Oh, and takes out the gun at the wrong time. We'll be able to get the first. Acid is right there, low HP as well, but the bomb about to go off. Not really a lot of opportunities to make more plays happen.
Yeah, that Killjoy ult, you know, doesn't always, or usually it's not going to detain anybody, but the benefit there is all the zoning. So that's why the kills start flooding in after that Killjoy ult is finally offline, because this defense has had to rush out and you have this rotation coming in, but nobody can get set up into comfortable positions. So everyone is kind of caught off guard once that Killjoy ultimate comes off, once that lockdown comes off, and it becomes some easy picks for Fort Scott, who are now on map point with 12. And a good buy as well. I mean, this is not great for Grays Harbor to defend their lives on. Not full buys for everybody. I think they had 2 or 3 rifles, a Bulldog and a Sheriff, if memory serves.
Yeah, interesting enough, they actually haven't committed anyone towards mid. It's everyone just on the sites, and LHC playing with Tobias up top, try and stop them from even getting through this smoke, but I don't know how much they can actually stop here when they are just running through. It's going to be Acid, the first man onto the site. 1 kill for Tobias as he retreats back under heaven. LHC, what a spray transfer! That's what your team needs, the most pivotal of moments. And finally, Grays Harbor has stuffed a push.
Wow, and they just pushed through that smoke too, just like you would expect them to. You know, having the flashes on their side, and frankly, having the weapons to just straight up play that smoke contact. But LHC, man, that Bulldog. That Bulldog plays like a dog. Plays like a dirty dog.
Yeah.
Oof.
And it just goes to show you that even if a team is losing 12-3, 12-4, that's not a testament. Their players are not bad.
30 seconds
This is not a league where you see a lot of if any bad players. It's just a matter of who is playing better on the day. And although Grays Harbor is behind significantly in rounds, you can definitely tell they have flashes of brilliance, like what LHC just did there. Transferring a Bulldog spray pattern like that is so difficult to do. 9 seconds now left in the round, and possibly the game if they can't get this bomb down. But Brucey leading the charge right on in. It's Gabe to get the headshot with the knife. Megalodon barely gets the bomb down, but does get knife to the back. Sinks between the shoulder blades, and it's the 5th round for Grays Harbor. It got dicey for a moment there. Brucey very nearly leading the charge back in to end the game.
Yeah,
Grays Harbor,
I'm
about
sure.
to die.
Ooh, go ahead.
No, that's about it. I mean, Grays Harbor they're on life support right now.
Yeah, definitely. And you don't want to pull the plug quite yet. I don't think Gab wanted to waste the knives there, but I think you got to do what you got to do to win the game, right? Especially up against Matt Point like that. But to your earlier point, right? You look at this really one-sided scoreline at 12-5, but you're right, that doesn't really tell the whole story. And with the round-based things like this, right, it doesn't take into account that Fort Scott might have won the vast majority of rounds, but how close did all of those rounds come down to? And sure, some of them I think have been fairly strong for Fort Scott, but if you look at it as 12-5, it definitely doesn't show how close a lot of these rounds have been. And just take a couple of 50-50s, do a couple of coin tosses the other direction, and Grays Harbor probably could be in the lead, almost in the exact same scenario. So definitely gives us hope for what the rest of the series could be. But I think Sui's ready to get on to map 2. Headhunter with the first.
Oh, yeah. I think just you kind of have that X factor when it comes to Fort Scott. They just have certain players that can pop off at any moment, like Sui, like Megalodon on the Brucey has been one of the big ones, just being able to really bring them over the finish line in some of these rounds. But look how deep Tobias is actually right now. He's about to be flanking top mid. Do they actually hear him coming though? No, they don't. It's 1 kill. The spray, difficult time getting the second, and now Reflex Finance, he's just waiting for it.
Ooh. That's frustrating. You know, when you're hitting that phantom spray pattern and you're just so close and you're like, the spray is going to come in my favor eventually. You don't want to stop and you don't want to reset your spray, but you know, at some point you gotta. That is unfortunate to only get one there after such a beautiful flank and amazing trigger discipline too.
Nice aim. I don't think Nice Aim realizes how close Brucey is right now. Brucey just spraying away. Gonna tag her up a few times through the wall. Out comes the arrow. The flank from Gab. This is going well for Grays Harbor. They could actually bring this round into fruition. They stopped the plant. 4 seconds left in the round. They can't actually win this anymore.
Wow. Clinical. Yeah, clinical round. You gotta say. Absolutely. To come in and to pull out the stops like that, because again, things got very dicey. And that was not a buy round for Fort Scott either. So if you're Grays Harbor and you're seeing that the other team is bringing up pistols into this round, you got to bring at least more than one alive there. And that round they do, I think, 2 stand into this round. They'll have to settle for 2 Spectres here, and it'll be a full buy from Fort Scott. But you've pushed this up, 3 rounds in the last 4. And if you win this round, you put Fort Scott back to an eco. You're looking at a 12-8 scoreline, and then we can talk about something.
Yeah, I do believe they might actually be going with the Spectre there to try and bring out an offense down, but Zodet just eats the blind. This is B-site taken within the first 10 seconds of the round. It looks like they've established where they have consistent takes on the side of Fort Scott. And this could just be it right here. Look at the vice script they have on this site right now. Smokes to go down, plenty of utility to be used, and all 5 standing strong, able to set up in their own post plants. Sui now, he's gonna have an easy headshot for the first, a second as well before rendezvousing away. It's only the one left in Tobias. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but you have a whole lot of work to do. A good start as he does get the first, but now Brimstone ultimate to be used. just to delay this retake even further. I mean, you have to turn the tempo up to 10 if you're Tobias at this point, and Brucey is already watching the cross. Blinded up, rest of the team piling in, and it's a shot to the dome to end this one off. 13-6, Fort Scott taking a fantastic map one. They looked wonderful, actually. Their coordination was there, their shots were hitting, and Grays Harbor, despite, putting up a mild comeback near the end there, just get the door slammed on them.
Yeah, it's very smart Valorant overall, I would say, in the way that they're playing off of each other, taking these peaks together. And I think they certainly caught their opponents off guard here, right? We saw a lot of opportunities on the attacking side that were kind of uplifted, uprooted from what they wanted to be. And Fort Scott were very calm and collected the whole time, even on their attacking side, and of course to go in that final round back to the B site where they had found so much success prior, I think they knew where everyone was going to play. They knew exactly where Zodette was going to be. So you have the knowledge, the info, you have the execution. So, hey, let's just stop playing with our food and let's win this.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. And Sui and Brucey, really the duo that was creating mayhem for Grays Harbor everywhere they went. And I mean, I'm expecting that to keep up for map 2. We'll see what kind of counter strats they can actually come up with. So that being said, don't go anywhere. For all of you watching at home, we will be off to a short break. But when we are back, we are here with game 2 between Grays Harbor versus Fort Scott. We'll see you then.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
A rogue virus. no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Welcome back, welcome back. We are here with the best of 3 NJCAAE Match of the Week presented by Army National Guard. Big shout out to the Army National Guard for sponsoring this. It's going to be Fort Scott Gaming Greyhounds versus Gray Harbor match, map 2. And I'm joined once again by Shakir. How you feeling going into this map 2?
I'm feeling great here. We're moving on to Icebox, and it'll be GHCC onto the defense there. So we'll get a little bit of a different start than we got in the first map. Tristan, how you feeling?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, what was it, 13-5, 13-6 for the first map. Fort Scott looking really, really tight on their strategies there. Just quickly being able to call the audibles. There are so many situations, like, for example, when it was Gab sitting on the other side of that smoke, you remember B-Main when he was just so close to being able to shoot players walking through that, but instead they don't sit there. They realize how many rotations can come through. They realize how bad of an idea it is to walk through that kind of utility. So instead they call an audible and they avoid what could have been, a disastrous play for them. So it's just that kind of shot calling that makes the difference there.
And if you remember on that round too, we were focusing on B a lot, but Sui had made their way all the way up into the A bomb site for some reason, despite the fact that there were 2 players holding that. So I think it was a combination of both of those that caused it. So yeah, you're right. Absolute smart play and good play calling that is very, very adaptable as well. Because if you got a wide open site like that, you go for it every day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just intelligence to leave that one lurker on the other side of the map, just in case they do draw the rotations and get yourself a free site just like that. But as we head into this second map, we already get a few lock-ins, a ton of chambers on the side of Fort Scott. Looks like they're
playing replication out here. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, Zodette back on the Killjoy. Gab picking Thorena this time around, interestingly enough. That went over to Tobias the last map. Instead, Tobias this time around will be titling the Viper.
Yeah, a little bit of a different taste to what we saw. Viper is one of those controllers that slightly came out of favor with this patch after taking a couple of nerfs. We see a lot more Omen and Brim, but there are a couple of maps where I think the Viper wall is so incredibly crucial. And despite the changes on that B side, I think that Viper wall is very powerful there as well. So no surprise to actually see it come out on both teams. Megalodon carrying it for the Fort Scott side.
I'll tell you what is a surprise to see, though. Acid on the Phoenix. I can't even remember when's the last time I've seen a Phoenix, whether it be competitive play, collegiate level play, or even solo queue games. I haven't seen a Phoenix in a minute now, so we'll see how Acid, what kind of tricks they have up their sleeve here.
You can get the double wall going between Acid between Acid and Megalodon.
Why not just use Neon at that point?
Yeah, right. Just
wall.
have them. They stand side by side, and then somebody runs through the middle with their knife out. Like, oh, come on, guys. Instead of using 3 agents, we have one. It's called Neon.
Yeah, you just simulated Neon with 3 different agents. I love it.
Yeah.
That's
I hope that's the way that Riot devs kind of figure out what agents they need. Like, oh, we're doing this setup with 3 agents. We'll just do it with 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Just sitting there on the drawing board.
The next agent's gonna have like a smoke that like throws flashes out of it.
Yeah. One that just teleports onto site, plants the spike, and then gets out.
That's an interesting lineup. Where's that going? I
Somewhere.
believe it's just going out mid. Wait, what? That just went nowhere.
Might have been a miss. Maybe it was something intentional. 5-head, 2 5-heads for me.
Yeah. They've got full view of the roof at this point. As I say that though, a quick A hit. LHC is on the front lines, playing the Jet for the defensive side. Has the first headshot, but Brucey quickly trades it out. That Jet was really the only one on the side as well, so this bomb will be going down here. They use quite a bit of utility to actually get it down, though. A nice aim has sprung through as well. The wall goes down. It's just a pure aim duel. 3v3 right now, baby. It all comes down to who hits their shots. And Gab is going to get the first. Up top, Megalodon does trade it back out. Reflex Finest also trying to cover their teammate. And this is a game of inches right now. So close. Reflex Finest is able to get one. So close. Low HP on everyone. Gab has to hit a shot or two here at 33 HP, though. 7 HP. Megalodon finishes the job.
And that plant was delayed all the way up until the final seconds there as well, courtesy of a cheeky molly by Tobias, but not enough to win the round. Too much pressure on Gab, who got the kill earlier up in there. But ultimately, I think great defense, right, to deny the plant up until so long. But just when it comes down to the later stages and you get those aim duels, yeah, it's part of a reason that Fort Scott took that first map. And now, of course, starting on this map on the right foot. So they'll bring in 4 Spectres and a Marshal into what is a very long-range map.
Yeah, it almost feels like Fort Scott, whenever it gets down to the wire, when it gets down to these clutch situations, they have that X factor that really pushes them over the edge. And maybe it's just their players being so mechanically gifted, or not really sure what the specifics of it are, but it's working for them. And LHC wants to get some spam shots through the smoke, but Sui just needed the one tap. No armor means Marshall is an easy kill. Megalodon as well rounding the corner. They're being disciplined. They're checking all their corners and making sure no one goes unaccounted for. Brucey gets a few. Reflex's Finest polishes it off for a second clean round for Fort Scott.
This is already eerily similar to the first map. Another flawless here.
It is, huh?
Off the back of a pistol. Fort Scott are now 3-3 on their pistols, by the way, as well. I want to say they're 3-3 on flawless on the round 2. Might be wrong about that one, but definitely the start of the first map had that flawless.
For sure, at least 2 out of 3.
But it is, you know, the bonus, and that was their anti-eco. So play your anti-eco to perfection. You know, Fort Scott taking advantage of their upgraded weapons. But Grays Harbor, they cannot go down 0-3 like they did on map 1 here. They have to win, I think, on this one. Just get some confidence up in their veins. And Gab, that's a great way to start.
Oh, nice angle there. Asa just didn't see it coming. Tobias, though. Does he realize how many players on the other side of this shipping container? Does have some support in Gab there. LHC as well. Playing the mid area. The bomb is still over at A as well, so even if they are able to get a pick here, it doesn't really mean as much. Oh, but Sui is such a menace. He's ridiculous with this Marshal.
And he's going back for more, too. Look at him taking space. Trying to get these peaks. That spike has been picked up as well. Still leaning towards that A site, but they haven't made any motion. And
look how deep in mid LHC is right now.
That spike's going to have trouble getting across.
This is going to be an important duel right here. They're trading shots back and forth. The bomb has been established. Instead, back onto A goes Megalodon, but there is still a player here. And plenty of utility to work with.
And here's the rotation getting called now, too. Now that that util's getting impacted. A flank from the back as well.
Oh, Megalodon gets this bomb down, though. They'll have the ultimate. Perfect. Instead, LHC realizes this. Won't give him the chance. Another headshot. LHC, are you kidding me? Tobias will finish off the round. A 3K from the Jet. Grays Harbor saying this will not be a repeat of last game. You're not reaching 3, buddy.
LHC was everything in that round. All that mid control, hiding so aggro up tube, and denying the Spike's ability to get from A to B, where they had already established control, where Fort Scott was, I think, honestly feeling very comfortable. But that Spike was stuck towards A, so you know, that cross is denied, and LHC knows immediately that they got to go towards A. Tuxtail, you know, runs the long route all the way back up to A and makes it just in time to catch that gap between the wall and the smoke. Perfect timing to deny that plant. Ooh. Much needed as they pick up that round 3.
A few shots being traded off there. Very close to a headshot, but instead, Reflex Finest takes out LHC early on in the round. That's already putting Grays Harbor at such a disadvantage considering how much work LHC has been doing for them so far this game. Nice aim though, trying to make up for it. Has 2 himself. Acid trades it out. 16 HP. It's back and forth. 2v2 at this point. So he has to dash away. No bomb down just yet. Tobias stomping around. They should hear this Viper rounding the corner. 1 player left. as Brucey gets the better of Gab there. Bomb stuck on site, though. They're going to have to push this.
One enemy remaining.
1v1. He shortens the numbers. It all comes down to this, and Tobias wins it. 3 on the round. The clutch 1v2, and it's 2-2 in score now.
Grays Harbor definitely bringing heat. They're looking a lot cleaner overall as a team as well than they did in that first map too. So should be very happy with their performances overall. Obviously, strategically, you know, it has been coming down to players popping off, right? LHC in that last round. Tobias there with the 3K. But still overall a lot cleaner. They're not giving up as much space for free. They're contesting a lot more. And LHC has an op as well in their hands. Full armor, full everything. This should be a pretty chill round. And LHC comes out swinging already. That is perfect from the Jet.
I'm really surprised to see the Hunter's Fury not come out after that drone tag. Usually in that situation, I mean, it's pretty easy to kill someone off with the Hunter's Fury at that distance. But instead, just going to use it for information. Perhaps this is just to draw rotations over. I'm not sure if they still want to hit this site, but they have lost a member already mid. It looks like Fort Scott just can't seem to win that duel very easily.
And Megalodon, she's got a judge underneath as well. It's just waiting for some cheekiness. They've got the weapons to make this competitive. Sui gets an opening here.
This is nervous. There's one kill. The second there as well. Tobias lines up the headshot. 15 HP. The rest of the cavalry will arrive just to make sure Tobias can escape okay. Instead, getting healed back up by the Sage. This round is already being tipped heavily towards Grays Harbor.
30 seconds.
Yes, they had the weapon advantage, but they're doing a great job of making sure it stays clean. Megalodon, the last one alive, does have the judge here. Might be able to take a few souls with him. With her, excuse me. And oh, wait a minute. Maybe even 2 here. 1 is there, but Gab saves their teammate. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah, that's where you want to see the judge sign, typically, right? Posted up in a corner, playing tight, but flawless for Grays Harbor, ultimately. Opening up with that operator.
Yeah, I really love the decision to put LHC on the Jet this map. LHC being on the Brimstone last map was, I mean, good for utility, but at the same time, when you have someone who can hit as many insane shots as LHC, you definitely want to give them the ability to post up in more aggressive angles.
Especially with that op, and give them somebody that can take the space and be so mobile. Yeah.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Instead, this is just such a quick hit. Now that they have the run it back, they're just going to try and spring onto the site as quickly as possible. Going to hear nice aim going up, but he can't find the shots just yet. The run it back nearly about to run out, not before taking one with him. Acid is able to start this round off right. Now nice aim, trying to get the safety, but when you're tagged up inside of a Viper ult, you're just lacking any kind of vision, and you're so easy to snuff out. 2 kills already. Make it a third, not before being traded out. Reflex's finest is able to get 1, but LHC, the question is, do you even want to attempt something like this when you have a valuable weapon like an op in your hands, or do you just bring it into the next round?
Yeah, especially in a 1v4 situation, right? Maybe see if you can find exits, see if you can find somebody over peeking, because they still have the money advantage, but the last thing you want to do is drop that. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Couple blades wasted as well, but yeah, op for nothing, and that's a third one for Fort Scott.
Oh, that's just insult to injury. Losing that op hurts. I mean, you already had the advantage in that round as far as economy is concerned, but losing that round, then dropping the operator to the enemy team, I mean, you just saved them a ridiculous amount of value. I mean, that swing was 9k credits, because you not only lose your 4.5k, but they gain 4.5k off the back of it.
Yeah, and if they wanted to use the op, they would have saved 4750 by doing so, but they did expend 3 ultimates in that round, and I think that's a good choice. If you have the ultimates, use them to get the round wins. Don't, you know, a lot of teams can sit on them for way too long, and then they won't have as much usefulness, so I applaud that, but they won't have that, you know, to work with in this round, so they got to make something happen with the weapon they have.
Nice swing there from LHC to get that kill back. That could have been bad. LHC even going for a second. Now the Hunter's Fury is coming out, but just up too close and personal. Brucey can't actually keep channeling that. A wasted ultimate. That's an expensive ultimate to waste.
Yeah.
Now Reflex's finest can't quick scope fast enough. Fort Scott now down a member.
And that Viper's pit up at A. A resurrection there as well. So now 4-on-2. Positioning from LHC.
Oh!
Ace. Oh my days. Taking so much space on the jet. Yeah. Wow.
Ridiculous. You had this guy on Brimstone last map? Come on, Graves
Don't hate on
Harbor.
Brimmy. Put Brimmy on that stimmy, and Brimmy goes off.
I'm a fan of Brimstone.
I gotta agree
come
with you.
on. This guy deserves to be on a carry. This guy is something else. Yeah, his impact has been ridiculous so far this game.
Has been absolutely profound. And what's worse for Fort Scott is that they used up 2 ultimates there to try and keep themselves alive in that round. So remember, 2 rounds ago when they won, they used 3 ultimates. Now they used 2 and they still couldn't find a win. They'll have a full buy here, but they're going up against a full buy. So Fort Scott needs to show us something that we haven't seen from them yet in these buy rounds, because right now Icebox on the attacking side has not looked great for them.
Man, and Viper does such a good job of just stalling out for the rotations to arrive. Although Viper does go down without getting a kill. I mean, look how many teammates are already here. Dav is ready to spring into action. The first is there, gets the overheal. Nice aim, able to swing back out. 3 on the round, looking for even more. Acid will be able to get 2 though, and make it possible. The run it back is available now, but he's already getting flanked out.
Run it back, a molly, a wall, a lot of opportunities to heal. There we go.
We'll just take the time to heal instead of kind of diving to get the bomb down as quick as possible. But now, I mean, kind of a difficult spot here. Getting pincered in on both sides. Oh.
Just got to expect this from LHC.
Oh,
Saw the
he
leg.
sees the gun barrel. Oh, but he's not looking the other direction. Zodette able to get a freebie, and already Zodette has more kills this round than all of last map.
Yeah, welcome to the scoreboard, Zodette. It feels good to have you. And again, hey, Zodette now responsible.
Oh, that's a cool axe.
2-round wins. 2-round wins. So a lot of
You know
impact.
what that axe reminds me of?
What does that remind you of?
Reminds me of the God of War axe. No, the like the
Ooh.
winter axe or whatever.
I'm not super
swear it
familiar with
does.
that axe, but just off of what my memory shows in my head, yeah, I could absolutely see that.
Ah, really, I love the. You know,
Certainly
one
the
thing
color.
you can always credit Riot with is the skin design.
Yeah.
When it comes to like as a former Counter-Strike player, the skin design there was.
I was reading a forum post on HLTV earlier, actually, that was somebody just absolutely going to town about how bad Valorant skins were compared to CS skins. I
Wait,
don't agree with
what?
them. Yeah, I think I'm on your side. I think Valorant's been very outside the box. A lot of
What do
versatility.
you get? Oh, nice shock dart there. Gab's gonna take so much damage here.
Oh, in the second.
Half
How do you
HP.
know?
Yeah, how does he know? Brucey's just 2-5 head. Out comes the run it back onto the A site, but it's quickly laid to rest. Zodette starting to feel herself a bit more. I like that Zodette has the confidence to take the front lines too against that run it back instead of just hiding behind a corner somewhere. Unfortunately though, Zodette's teammate has been dropped here. Gonna try and pop the swarm grenade, buying as much time as possible. But just narrowly missing the engagements right now. About to be overwhelmed. There's only so many places you can go. Gonna get dropped, not before Gab is able to trade one out. Oh, but they can actually see where this Reyna is by the overheal. Brucey able to take him out through the wall. Man, this is really falling apart quick.
Yeah, Zodette was very scared there. You can see, you know, getting pincered from both sides. Very antsy, trying to pick both. And ultimately, you know, it's a 50-50, but it feels like in that situation, you're going to guess wrong every single time. And that's unfortunate because I think typically you pick the Killjoy and you would expect to be able to leave that site alone. But actually what we've seen from the last 2 maps is that this Killjoy definitely needs a secondary set of eyes. You know, the alarm bots, the nano swarms aren't necessarily enough to hold off the opponents. Zodette just has not looked very comfortable today playing Anchor on these sites.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, especially with the way Fort Scott plays. It's just
very aggro, very in your face.
Yeah. As soon as they pull the trigger, you have like the entire team all over you. It's so difficult to really deal with that.
I think they're even playing into that. I think they've seen this attribute out of Zodette, and they're very much playing into this Killjoy in a way that you wouldn't normally.
Oh, wow. Acid has a lot of players on this B site. 3 members stacked here. Meaning this A hit, I mean, if they're able to draw one more rotation, they're going to leave someone isolated. Instead, Sui, he makes this rotation himself by killing off Gab. The only one left on the site is Zodette, and suddenly everyone else is starting to flood back towards A.
Surprised they didn't push this right away. Zodette, a couple of missed Vandal shots. Could still be an opening.
Oh, just dancing around, trying to buy time for the rest of the team, but it's just not enough. 2v1. Fort Scott does a great job there of just making sure that they don't commit too heavily to give over a kill. LHC now holding the tightest of angles, may just get Megalodon crossing over. No vision of each other. Oh man, right around the corner. Oh, everyone is just an inch away from death, but the flank is there. I didn't even realize that Reflex Finest was from behind.
Very fast. Very, very fast. So 5-5. I said earlier I wanted to see something different out of Fort Scott. I wanted, you know, because they hadn't been bringing it in these buy rounds, but these last 2 rounds have been very, very, very decisive. And they have been in total control from start to finish. I mean, you said how, I guess how scared almost Grays Harbor's been playing, right? Acid shows a little bit of presence on B, and you have 3 players all playing very aggro as well. Too far to make any rotation. The one thing I'm surprised about with Fort Scott is that they didn't push into A faster after getting the opening pick.
Wow, 2 headshots whizzing right by each other. No one goes down just yet, but Gab now kind of gives away the game here, knowing that they have a stinger.
Best gun in the game.
Oh, nice aim is right next to him. LHC can't hit the knives. No more knives available for the rest of the round. Now Acid as well. He's going to try and be the front runner onto the site. Instead, the blind is there. Gets dodged. Tobias, beautifully played.
Through the
nice
flash.
Quick turn away. Oh, yeah. Sui, though, on the other side of the map, I mean, where the B site succeeds, the A site falls.
They're still not in yet. They haven't broken the nut of the walnut quite yet.
Here.
Yeah, still very much a standstill. You're kind of feeling good right now if you're Grays Harbor, but as I say that, if you give up this kill, things could go south quickly. 2 players lurking mid as well. Gab. Oh, just so close to being destroyed here. And a little bit closer now. Sui trying to just dodging left, right, and center, but LHC pulls out the pistol. The sidearm is good for it. The only one left, unfortunately, is Tobias.
Spike planted.
All these lurkers, I mean, there's just so many ways you can die at this point. They're already hunting this Viper as well.
And they've got the money for it too, so might as well hunt. Megalodon out towards that balcony. That's 6. 6 for Fort Scott. Yeah, they have been playing with a lot of mojo these last 3 rounds.
Yep, last round before the swap. Could make it a 6-6 scoreline if Grays Harbor is able to recapture some of their former glory here.
I'd certainly like to see that. You know, Grays Harbor to come into the second half with, you know, with some space to make mistakes. Right, you don't want to give up even a 7-5 lead to Fort Scott, because if they come out and they win a pistol,
take flight,
you know, and they win round 2, then you're looking at a 9-5 scoreline. They win round 3 like they did back on Ascent. It's a 10-5 scoreline. It's very difficult to climb up that mountain. So Grays Harbor needs to come away with the win here.
I think one thing that's also to note about just the team cohesion of Fort Scott is, oh, Sui.
Yeesh.
Another aggressive push, nets a kill. Tobias just gets caught overextended slightly. Acid as well, just waiting for the push. But Gab on the ropes while moving, domes him.
Don't see that every day.
Now. Can't get the bomb down by dropping the Viper's pit. LHC will do battle with Sui here, but Sui now has the operator. Good luck peeking that one again. You're going to have to draw out the shot somehow, some way. Avoids getting hit and just completely decapitates Sui as a result. LHC is doing everything he can, fighting tooth and nail to bring his team back into the lead here, or at least tied up.
Last player standing.
Ooh, quick flicks. Gab also chiming in. 1 player left. It's all down to Brucey, but I mean, this is Brucey we're talking about here. He's pulled through for his team time and time again. But now it's the best. Brucey, 3K when his team needs him the most. Back against the wall.
Yeesh, fish are friends, not food, Brucey. No
Oh,
mercy.
man.
The 3-on-1.
He turns him into a fish fry. I'm sorry, but
Eating
man, that
fish
really
sticks
looked
for
like it was
dinner.
about to be it was about to be Grays Harbor's round. LHC
a-
doing some fantastic work. Gab with the 3K. I mean,
a very coordinated retake. You know, giving up that sight smartly so, I think, and then to come in through pressuring on a couple different angles at the same time. Probably, honestly, the best retake I think Grays Harbor has had in these two series, or in these two maps, I should say. But of course, you know, you can never count out somebody like Brucey, who's just here to tap heads. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kills in that order for Fort Scott. All right, LHC takes out the biggest hitter in Sui.
LHC, man, this guy is an absolute menace right now. We'll get taken down by a Megalodon eventually, but 1 HP on the Viper should be removed from this round soon enough. Brucey is able to trade it out, though, constantly making sure no teammates die in vain, which is a fantastic thing to see on the team. 3v3 ensues. Just waiting on someone to give over a kill. Nice aim. We'll just get their toes burned by the molly. Look in the wrong direction. Luckily, teammates there to cover. Acid is next one up to the plate. 17 HP. Just gets bursted down, and it's all down to Brucey. Another 1v3. Where have we seen this before? We'll hear one climbing up. Nice aim. Quick to be dropped. A head is presented. Very nearly taken down here, but the bomb is ticking lower and lower. Has to get on it eventually, but Tobias is actually low. This could be doable. The only issue is when they're taking this long to actually take the fight. The nade is there. Yeah, this one's over. Brucey just looking for some exits at this point. We'll be able to get the kills, but not the round. First pistol round, I believe Fort Scott actually loses here.
Yeah, gotta feel pretty good there. So, you know, the scary thing that I was thinking about was, you know, 7-5. Fort Scott coming out, winning the pistol and building off of that, but Grays Harbor shutting that down. This is their first pistol round win. And of course, it did get dicey with Brucey on the 4K, but this is exactly what Grays Harbor need, right? So now they're on the anti-eco. You can see a little bit of a force-up Sui on the Marshall. Not too much of a gamble coming from them. I think Brucey decided to pay it up for him, but overall should be a weapons advantage. But look at Reflex. Yeesh, with the headhunter on Zodette. Take down that killjoy and all the utility that comes with her as well.
Now LMC wants a piece of the action. We'll tag him with the Marshall. Pretty decent damage there. Question is, can they actually get far enough mid to... Oh, a shorty up close and personal. LHC taken out of the round. Crucially, LHC taken out of the round. This is the best player on Grays Harbor, already removed early on in this eco round. Gab really going to have to pick up the slack here if they want to defend this bomb. Ooh. Can't do it. Sui even gets a headshot as well. It's down to nice aim. Already tagged once. We'll have the heal. The defusel's coming in. And Sui, I mean, what more could you ask for? Another headshot. It's ridiculous. Unbelievable thrifty.
Yeah, and shuts down Grays Harbor's economy too. So the tough part about that, right, it was such a little investment. Basically just the Marshall. Obviously you have the headhunter onto Reflex, but now you've taken any type of eco bonus that you would have gotten from the bonus, or excuse me, from the pistol, and you've turned it on its head, and you've taken that for yourself if you're Fort Scott. So now this round would have been a bonus round for Grays Harbor, but now it's an eco, and it's a bonus round for Fort Scott. So yeah, they're gonna come out with the same amount of rounds advantage
disgusting.
as if they won the pistol, and they
A round 3 operator.
Yeah, Jesus.
Doesn't actually get him a kill though. Megalodon slides right on through. I didn't actually hear this Viper. This could be a deadly spot. Oh, hear the footsteps. How many does Megalodon get here? Especially with a teammate drawing the attention. Yeah. Absolutely no one will see this coming.
They're not looking. Might hear the rotate out though. So that'll be the call out.
Yeah, they have full knowledge of this right now.
Look at this flank. Look at Acid.
Acid thinking about it. Oh, a few pot shots just to go around.
So now they're trapped between a rock and a hard place. This Megalodon is so deep as well.
That was doomed from the start. Wow. Fort Scott just closing their grip around Grays Harbor's neck.
Wow. Another eco round, sure, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more out of that. Just something to contest. You know, and this is just now an extended bonus for Fort Scott on top of that as well, because we are 4 rounds in. And finally, a full buy from Grays Harbor. But Fort Scott, 5.9, 6,000, 6.9 credits on their highest player in Megalodon. And they have an operator. You know, and this is a bonus for them too. So they don't even have to win this. And economically, they're still going to profit.
Six to 9. B-side being heavily favored this round by Grays Harbor. It almost feels like Grays Harbor will commit their full team to a site while Fort Scott would always leave some lurkers around. In this case, Acid will be the man on the front lines. Just gets eviscerated as he tries to peek out. Had several players blinded. But that's one of the benefits of bringing your entire team to a site hit. You just get more options when it comes to playing anti-flashes, making sure your teammates are covered. As we see Suey just peeking out heaven. This man has no fear in his eyes after what just happened to his teammate. Still going for even more. Look how they're all pinned behind yellow at this point, and Brucey's just gets to take free pot shots. Suey with another. Stop it, Suey. This is ridiculous. A third on the round. Make it an ace, why don't you? The bomb is already defused. Gab gets another. Megalodon gets one. And Suey just chasing down this kill.
They just don't stop. I mean, the spike was defused and the fights kept happening. Yeah, there were changes, right, in this patch to the Beast site. And the reasoning was so that the attacking sided team would be allowed and would feel more enabled to take more space. So that it would basically change the dynamic that retaking has happened. But in every single spike plant that we've seen in this game, and I think overall in the majority of games that I see, it's still the exact same strat. You get yellow control, you put up that Sage Wall or Viper Wall, you plant very close to default, not the new default that Riot wants it to be, towards the center of the site, but you still play it very close to the edge, and then you run back on that yellow box. And the issue with that is Fort Scott just go through and they take all this free space, just like Suey just did there, and for a second shot, 2 onto Zodette. Finally, Gab puts an end.
Yeah, someone stop this, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this disrespectful play style. Just completely walking out.
Yeah, no respect.
Dead Gab. Ooh, nice shot, though. Kind of making this seem doable, but a quick flank could be the end of him, and Megalodon cashes in on a freebie headshot.
Honestly, though, 3 kills for Gab. Could be worse.
Really more than you could ask for.
It really couldn't be worse, though, because Grey Harbor didn't get anywhere with that. They barely got out of their own spawn. And you can see the respect that Fort Scott is giving them. I mean, Suey just walked out of there with an operator. No util, just contact peek, and picked off 2 before he was even contested.
Yeah, not the greatest of...
Not ideal, no.
Wouldn't exactly be happy to see that if I was Grays Harbor, but
wouldn't show that clip to my parents, I think.
Suey's back.
Ooh,
actually misses and gets pretty beat up there. 9 HP. Are there any healers on the team? No healers, so that damage is gonna stick. 9 HP for the rest of the round. Luckily for Suey, if there is a single weapon you want to have 9 HP on, the operator doesn't feel nearly as bad. Instead, just patrolling the top side of the map, making sure no one walks up. Has to capitulate the angle, though. That's going to be the bomb going down, but as LHC tries to walk through the Viper wall, just gets taken out. Megalodon looking for even more. Are you kidding me? How is this Viper still alive?
Last player standing.
I mean, they just get picked apart on Grays Harbor. This should have never happened. Gab the only one standing. The callouts are there. Acid just blinds him up and takes him down.
Jeez. You know, when Grays Harbors won the pistol round, I was very optimistic. You know, that's the only pistol round that they've won. This is the perfect way to start the half. They're feeling themselves here, you know, and they are on the verge of a 2-0 series point right here.
Oh, yeah. One more round to do it in, and Fort Scott, I mean, all credit to them, because Grays Harbor has not looked like they've been completely lost. It just looks like they're just getting outplayed at this point. Fort Scott, they're hitting some insane shots. Suey is just on a tear right now, and a lot of these shots are difficult ones to hit for Suey. He's just not missing. 3 players left between Fort Scott and a victory this game, and it looks like they're all huddled on the B side, just trying to find some solace in each other's arms. Megalodon, though, will allow them no such freedoms. No real estate being given over as Zodette. Not even sure where to go at this point. Has to try and depend on the teammate. A little back and forth, little patty cake. Tobias is able to get a third on the round as well. This is suddenly doable. 2v2.
2v2.
We'll get scammed by the dart. Viper's Pit is there as well. The question is, where did they plant?
I don't like that
Oh,
location.
12 HP.
Oh, that was very transparent. Right at that default. Of course, Brucey's gonna aim for that.
One enemy remaining.
Brucey just running through. This is ridiculous. Out comes the Hunter's Fury. Odette just dancing for dear life. Blue suede shoes will not last you much longer. Megalodon closes out the map. It's 13-6 as Fort Scott bring this one to a close. They looked vicious as ever today.
Yeah, I think an easy 2-0 for them, quite frankly, right? We talked about at map 1, we said, hey, you know, the scoreline doesn't always reflect how close and competitive these rounds can be. You know, half were a step above for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of showed the difference between a hot start and a hot team there. Grays Harbor got off to a hot start that map, while Fort Scott was just a hot team today. They were just looking fantastic. They were hitting their shots. They were bringing all the right strategies when they needed them, and it never felt like they were really overextending, even though they were absolutely doing so, because they were just playing with so much confidence. They were just playing with so much, they were suave as ever. It was beautiful to watch, and it was a lot of fun to cast. So I really hope you had a great time casting as much as I did today. I want to give a quick shout out as well to the Army National Guard for sponsoring this stream today. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, and we are oh so happy to be partnered with you. So with that being said, do you have any closing thoughts you want to leave us out with, Shakir?
Fort Scott should feel very good. Suey, I can count on one hand how many times you missed an op shot on Icebox. That's not very rare, but you know, with the confidence they were playing in, I do hope that they come across a team that doesn't give them as much space as they were given today and punishes them for their overaggression because they were looking very clean overall.
Absolutely. And we may actually have an interview ready for you guys after a short break here. So we're going to send it over right now. But when we come back, we'll see if we can get you guys a little bit more access into the minds of these teams and their players. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
We understand an upside down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch ahead.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It is Tristan, Cass, and Shakir joining you again for pretty much unfortunate news. We don't have an interview today. So with that, that will be the end of this best of 3 series. I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching it. Shakir, did you have any final thoughts to wrap us up on?
It's a great 2-0 series. I can get to bed, and I still feel like I had my Valorant fill of exciting gameplay. So Fort Scott, they brought the heat here for the Gaming Greyhounds, and GHC, hopefully they can piece things together for the next one, because they did have glimpses of brilliance there for sure. But definitely, I'm sure, going back to the whiteboard with a lot to look at.
Absolutely. Fort Scott, we want to give you a personal thanks for letting Shakir get to bed early. Beauty sleep is important, guys. We gotta make sure our skin's looking right, all that. He gets
self-care, baby.
Nighttime.
Self-care.
Exactly. That being said, we're gonna be signing off for the night. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, ARNG, Army National Guard, for sponsoring this stream. And until next time, this is Tristan, this is Shakir. We're signing out, baby.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.